Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bourbon Neophyte. I hope you all are having a great afternoon or evening, depending upon where you are in this world. Tonight, you may know that I've got a flight delivered to me by the Bourbon Bar, and I just finished pouring this stuff up, and I'm getting ready to give it a go. I've got it sitting in blends right here, marked just so it has a chance to open up a little bit and got the Glen cap on it so I can get a good nosing on it. I already talked to Holden. He's ready to go in the background. And just wanted to take a minute to say hey to everybody and remind everybody, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Some of you know that I keep the subscriber only box checked. So you actually have to be a subscriber to the channel in order to comment and chat, excuse me. And basically that's just to keep out the stuff that we don't want in our chats. That's just not appropriate. So that being said, I'm going to hit the chat here real quick and say, hey, Bobby, cheers, man. Always appreciate you coming on. If any of you don't know who he is, Bad Axe Bourbon, and you haven't subscribed to him, make sure you get over there right now, subscribe to him, hit that like button, and go back and watch some of his streams. Truly a great guy. Truly a great guy. I always enjoy hanging out with him and having a dram. Great guy. Top Dog, cheers, man. I hope your trip was good. I saw that you had just gotten back, so I hope you picked up some good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Andrew, always good to see you, man. Always good to see you. MC Squared. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. It's another fabulous whiskey channel. And if you haven't, please go over and sub to them and hit a like and watch some of their reviews. They're new. They're just getting their feet in the ground. However, they are seasoned veterans. I just want you to know, but they enjoy talking about whiskey as much as we do, and particularly hunting for it. That's for sure. Well, look who's here. Mr. Morgan, appreciate you being here, sir. I hope everything is doing well across the pond. Pleasure having you. Sugar Kitty as well. Boom. I got it from the last stream. I told you I'd have it. Here it is. I do not disappoint the cat. That's for sure. Oh, yes, sirree. There he is himself sitting in the background, just waiting. I'm going to have to bring him on here in a little bit. Hey, Ben, cheers, man. Nice to see you. 21090. Always great to have you around. That is for sure. When you guys see 21090 on here, you know you have arrived. And by the way, some of the people that might just be lurking in the background and are just watching this, do me a favor. 21090 is another great channel. Please make sure that you guys go over there, because if you guys like whiskey and you like to talk about music, rock and roll, that is the place. I'm telling you, that is the place. I don't think there is anything Todd or Andy don't know when it comes to music. I swear. I have listened to them and it amazes me. And some of the stuff they pull up, I go, oh my gosh, I'm old. But anyway, they're just a great bunch of people and they have great streams that I'm just telling you, you need to go over there and pop in. And the Bourbon Bar. Well, it's the one that I'm co-hosting this stream with. So those of you that don't know, please go over there and sub to Holden there. He would really appreciate it. Another great guy, another great reviews. And especially when he brings his fiance on there, she really keeps things going and keeps things in line for him. Probably if it wasn't for her, you know, like he would probably tell you, he just couldn't do some of the stuff he does, because probably she is one of the backbones of that stream that keep him on track. Yeah, he's shaking his head. You guys can't see him, but I see him in the background. He's shaking his head. But he's really a great guy, and I'm going to bring him on here in just a minute. I just want to make sure that I catch everybody. Absolutely, guys, and I mean that. You know, you're phenomenal. You shout me out, I'm going to shout you out. You're just great group of people. Even though you're in Maryland, I don't hold that against you. Probably Baltimore fans, but you know where my team lies. But that's all I'm going to say. Anyway. Oh, all right. Well, hey, I'm going to bring the Bourbon Bar on, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Here he is right now. What's up, Holden? How are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing good. How are you?
oh my gosh, now that I've got you to drop this flight off to me, I said, I'm so sorry you had to take off so quick, but you know how it is. You got to get back to your side of the world. You only have so much time, but
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it because I know you and I have talked about this, but you are actually the first channel I have collabed with live to do a stream. I
Yeah.
have done blind flights before from my subs who have sent me things, but not like this. So you're actually the first person that we've talked weeks ago about this. We've exchanged stuff when you were here. We handed it off. So you've
Yep.
got some for me. I got some for you. And unfortunately, my stream didn't work out because they changed my shift at work. So we're in the process of fixing that to where I'm going to be on his stream while he does a flight for me. And I gave him a Scotch flight. So
Oh
he's
yeah.
going to do a Scotch stream, and hopefully, coming up here in the next couple of weeks or so, we'll have something planned, and we'll let you all know, you know,
Yeah.
when we're going to do this because I'm excited to do that because there's going to be some things in there I know he hasn't tried, and I
For
think I
sure.
threw him a curve in there, so we're going to see just how good he is at figuring out what in the heck that is. But there's an old friend of ours popped in. I mean, I'm surprised
Oh
he's up.
yeah.
Yeah, hanging
Hanging
AT.
easy.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
He's probably was out for a rip today. So, I'm just surprised that, he woke up in time to come and see us
Yeah.
because, he just lays there and dreams of Long Branch.
Yeah, well, whenever he's on my channel, it's too early for him to drink. So at least now it'll probably be late enough where he'll be able to drink
I'm just going to tell you,
vodka.
don't let him give you those excuses. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Only time I give him some slack is when the dog tells him it's time to go. So,
Yeah.
I got it. The dog rules his life. I totally got that.
Yep.
Yep. Without a doubt. But anyway, so I've got all these poured. I've got my little Glen caps on them. They're marked A, B, C, and D.
All right.
They've been sitting in here. I've got them lined up here. I'm kind of set and ready to roll. I just didn't know how you wanted me to go about this, but I think this is just me. You tell me. I think I'm just going to pull the cap off of the first one, kind of give it a nosing, give it a few sips.
Sure.
And if you want to kind of keep track, if I get anything right, if you have any particular questions, like, what's the proof, age, whatever, I don't know. You tell me. I'm not going to say I'm going to get anything right. I might get proof.
I always play this game. It's a lot harder than it sounds. I always think I'm going to do so good, and sometimes I do real bad, but
that's
sometimes
okay.
I do real good too, and it
It's
works
not
out for
like
that.
it's not like it's a contest. This is just for
Right.
fun. This is strictly fun. And I know people that get so anxious, over when they get flights. Because, I won't do any good. Who cares? Who
Right.
cares?
Yeah.
It's fun. That's all it's for. It's just fun. And let me just say this. I
Exactly.
don't know if you saw it, but a while ago, Sugar Kitty was in town and he dropped off some to me. It was scotches.
Correct.
And before, he would always explain to me or try to explain to me Kilhoman and what a clean peat it is. And I had no idea what clean peat was. Peat is smoky, it's chewy,
Yeah.
it's medicinal. And I'm like, clean peat. So anyway, he dropped off a flight to me. And this one particular was a Kilhoman. And I knows that. And I'm like, what is this? It doesn't smell like a scotch. It's definitely not a bourbon. It's not a light whiskey. There's something about it. I mean, I couldn't figure it out. It threw me for a loop. In other words, I had no clue. It was like nothing I've ever nosed or anything before. And I didn't know what to say about it. I was like, other than I just didn't know what it was. So I took the first sip and, it's that, oh my gosh, what is this? And after it settled and I went back at it for the second sip, all of a sudden the nose popped, the palate popped on it, the peat, the smoke. I mean, it was amazing. And then finally, I'm like, what is this? It's got this brine, it's got this salt, it's got this barley, it's got this peat. It's the peat is there, but it's so I couldn't figure out the word. So that's what he described to me. That's the note of clean peat that he was trying to get me to understand.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, now I got it. So of course I went out and bought the Kilchoman Machir Bay after that, because it was just a fantastic dram when I had it. Ben, yeah.
And that's one thing that we have talked about. We both smoke meat, and when you smoke meat with dirty smoke, it doesn't taste as good as when you smoke it with a nice, clean, burning fire. And you can taste it in the meat. It's kind of the same thing, I would think, with Scotch, having clean peat versus having a really dirty, briny, like less clean peat. So I guess I could see where you're coming from with it tasting significantly better and cleaner, just depending on like how they use the peat in that situation.
And that's one thing I love about some of these flights I get, because I get to experience something that I haven't. And what other people are trying to tell me they get out of it, these notes or whatever, I would have never, ever in a million years got that or understood what Sugar Kitty was trying to tell me when it came to the clean peat, until he put it in front of me and said, this is it. Now you get it. Boom. I got it. And I totally get it now. And I can actually understand it if I would go to something else and go, oh, this reminds me of Kilchoman. It's a clean peat. Yes, there's peat, but it's clean. It doesn't have that ashy, that cigarette, that medicinal, that, oh yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, yes, I've got Lafroig and all that other stuff. Oh yeah. So peat does not bother me, but I just love how he explained that. And I was wondering, what is clean peat? What is clean peat? Well, I mean, that's one of the ones that really set me back on my heels. So I'm really looking forward to this particular flight you sent me. I don't know what it is or anything like that, but I'm looking forward to it, because I'm hoping to find something that throws me for a loop.
Right. And there's
I don't care if I get anything right. I don't care about that.
There's definitely one in there that's going to be it's going to be throwing you off a little bit. So we'll see if you pick that one out of the crowd.
I'm looking forward.
There's definitely an outlier.
So in chat, yes, in a little bit, I will post the link. But right now, Holden and I are going to get through the flight, and because we want to do this for you guys so you guys can hear it. But I will post the link, so you guys want to pop on and join and have a dram with Holden. Absolutely, we're going to do that. So just hang tight here for a little bit. And remember, hit that like button and subscribe to Bourbon Neophyte or the Bourbon Bar. Please, we really appreciate your support. And then when you get time, go back, watch some of our videos that we had posted on there, or the streams that we have done. It really helps us, particularly our watch hours. That's how we get these different things going on in the old world of YouTube and the algorithm
stuff. Yep. Hit the like button and everything. Comment on the video.
Oh, comments. Thank you. I always forget that. Comment on those things, because it really does help us, and it gets our channels more out there in front of people.
Yeah. So even if you just say nice video or nice review, that's all it takes to help. You don't need to look up for something to comment on. If you guys just want to help out, just say good video, and that helps out a lot. So
exactly. And this is something I think smoked ham, and Sugar Kitty brought that up about Ardbeg and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah. And it's funny when you talk to people, and I'm going to call out Sugar Kitty, but who have the palate and have had experiences in the whiskey world, and they give you their input. I love stuff like that. Greg McDonald is another one. I don't know if you know him, but he's another great supporter of Whiskey Tube. And he has sent me flights and explained things to me. And I've really got an understanding of different stuff. And I'm like, man, they're great people. Great people. Cheers there, Commandant Lou. Great to see you. Great to see you. Thank you for popping in. So let's get into this. I got A here.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if people can see this. Let me kind of roll this in there. There we go. Can you kind of see it? I know it's in green and the light may be bad, but That's A. So I don't know what it is, but it's been in this glass, I'm going to say for 20, 25 minutes with the cap on it. So let's kind of just see. It's a nice color.
All right. If you want to avert your gaze or close your eyes, I'll hold up the bottle so all the
okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn around 180 degrees, and then after you do it, tell me to turn back around. So what he's going to do is you people can see the bottle.
So everyone in the chat, please do not don't spoil this for him, but this is what we're going to be drinking in glass A. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my glass too. All right, Anthony, you could turn around now.
Okay.
So that's what we're drinking.
So now you all know, please don't put anything in chat. Don't help me. I can get it wrong all by myself. I don't need any help. That's for sure. All right, I'm pulling the lid off this thing.
All right, sounds good.
Wow. All right, definitely like a cherry note on this. Getting a little oak.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
It smells a little on the young side. I'm not sure. I'm going to say 4 to 6 year, maybe 5 year. I'm not 100% sure, but I get just a little hint, and I could be wrong. I got to sip it, but there's something in there that I'm not sure.
Right.
It's not a 10 year. It's not a 12 or 15. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I'm saying it's not what I call a more mature whiskey. So when I say young, it's a wide range. It's definitely not a 2 year young like a Texas. So let me just say that.
Yeah.
But I just know I got something on there. It's like,
And there may be something in there that is helping you, steering you toward that depiction. So
little ethanol on it, but I don't know if that's going to be an indication of proof or not. I'm not sure. I'm not usually a good one on that. I don't think it's a rye because I don't get any mint yet on the nose, but that's one thing. I can't generally pick a rye on the nose because I don't get a lot of mint on ryes. So the ones that I do, and I think I've told you, the Elijah Craig rye, I get that. I get the mint. I don't so much get it on the nose, but the palate, bam. I have a few other ryes, like in the oh my God, what's my other rye? Oh my God, I'm having a moment over here. Oh, the Knob Creek rye. I don't get the mint. Now, if you talk to Whiskey Mountains, it's like, bleh. But anyway, so let me see what we got here.
I'm getting maybe a little bit of light caramel in here as well. It's like a caramely sweetness.
Well, it's different. Let me just say that. I'm going to go with when I say young, I'm going to go with 5 year, 6 year, maybe a little, maybe 6. I don't know. I just know it's not, a 10, a 12 or whatever.
I can tell you your ballpark is in the right direction. So,
okay. It's not a high proofer, but it's definitely not an 80 proofer. It's not, I'm going to say it's definitely not a 90. It's north of 90. But I don't think if it's 100, I don't think it's a much over 100. When I say much over, maybe 105.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, get a little more here. And let me try the nose a bit again.
Sure. I almost get a little bit of a slightly sour note on the palate. I don't know if you get that as well.
Well, that's that young note. That's what I get, like oakiness on that. I don't. Okay, I'm just going to say he knows the answers to that. None. None. He's just busting my chops because he can. Cheers, shits. So the sweetness is there. The profile is something I know. But it does have that young note.
Yeah, so whenever you would like the bottle revealed to you, I will reveal it. What I can tell you though is this: you have some pretty on point guesses. You're pretty close in a lot of the areas. So whenever you are ready, I can review the bottle, go over some of the information.
Give me a minute here. Let me just put the cap back on this thing and go.
And we can come back to it.
I like it. I think it's a nice sipper so far.
Yeah.
It has that nice rye spice on the tongue. I like that. I don't think it has an overabundance of sweetness. So it's not high corn. Does that make sense? Like,
yep.
75% corn, let's say. I'm going to say no, but it's sweet and it has rye spice, but I don't think it's a high rye, if that makes sense to you. I don't think it's a high rye.
What is the classification of high rye? I know I'm
going to say like 25, 30% rye, I think in there. Someone chime in for me. I think high rye has to be over 25 or like at least 30%. Yeah. I don't know. But the reason why I say that is I know Smoke Wagon's mash bill of rye is like 36%. So yeah, that's high rye. So that's why I don't know the actual number, but there is a rye in there, and I like that. So it's like, wow, I can sip that. It's not a hard drinker at all. It's a nice sipper. Really? 15?
Oh yeah. I remember watching someone's video a while back and they were talking about high rye and how Buffalo Trace has a classification of high rye at that like really low percentage. But
that's bullshit.
I think most people consider that 25 range where you were talking about. I think that's what most people consider high rye, but Buffalo Trace has their own standards apparently, which everyone likes to follow.
I would never consider that a high rye. To me, you'd have to be north of 25. And I know there's no real definition of high rye, so they could say 10% high rye. Yeah, but no, 15%. Hell no. Holy smokes, Gert! Cheers, man. Are you still on holiday? I saw that video you eating like they were grilling steak or something on there, putting onions on it. I'm like, damn it, I'm hungry. But that is a good sipper. I'm not disappointed in it at all. I'm just not sure what it is. So let's just sit a minute on that.
Sure. Yeah, we can
clear my palate. I'm going to move over to B.
Okay. So,
but let me just say this before you grab B. A is good. I'm a little befuddled over some stuff, but I've had it before, and it's a profile I know, and I'm leaning towards like 1792 Redwood Empire. It's not overpowering or anything like that. I don't think it would be on the lines of an Eagle Rare, because that's a totally different company in general. But what I'm just saying is I don't think it's close, but it's there's a mellowness to it, and I'm trying to figure out what I think it might be or what it's similar to. It's definitely not a Scotch. I know that, but if I was picking, I'm kind of in between that right now. So let me move on to B. I'm going to turn around. You can show everybody what B is.
All right. So B is this boy right here. Hopefully you guys can see that well enough. So let me pour this in the glass here. And you can turn around, Anthony. So I hope everyone saw it. Remember, everyone, don't write it in the chat. We want to keep this a surprise.
Yep.
This
Good.
one.
Okay.
Yep.
So B. All right. This is B. If everyone can see that on the glass, B on there. All right. Let me pull this off. Oh wow. What the heck is that? I know there better be no damn Malort in here. It's going to be all over my screen. That's for damn sure.
Don't worry. I did shy away from the Malort. You would see an ugly piss color if it was Malort.
Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely not Malort color.
Nope.
That's for sure. But I got a kick watching Michelle from Women of Whiskey do her Malort shot.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking on my channel. I was gonna do something when I hit 1,000 subscribers. I have a special video planned. I'm gonna get a couple of my friends and family members and people around that haven't had Malort before, and it's just gonna be a montage of just people's initial reactions to taking a shot of Malort. And I really think it's just gonna be a funny video and a fun video. So when I get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, I'm definitely gonna have a whole lineup of. I mean, I have the Malort liqueur. I have Malort Spritz, which I drank on my channel last weekend. I got in Chicago, and that tastes, I mean, just as bad as normal Malort, maybe a little watered down. But
and I agree with you, Sugar Kitty. That would kill everything. But I could see someone pulling a fast one on me just to get my reaction. Oh, look at this! Here we go.
She's convinced. She's convinced.
I know you are. He loves that crap. I agree with her. She knows.
I love it just as much as Anthony loves his Long Branch.
If anybody knows you, it's her.
Well,
that's right.
True.
All right, let me take this off again. Oh yeah, Shayla had a great Malort face. Yeah, without a doubt. Now this to me has a candy note, like almost like a lollipop, you know. I don't know how to say it. Almost a little maltiness to it, but okay. I know it's not, but it has a little maltiness to it.
Yeah, almost like a sweet malty funk type.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I don't know why, but I'm getting something almost, I can't quite put my finger on it. And I almost want to say minty, but
I could get mint in here.
No ethanol on this at all that I'm getting. No ethanol. So I'm going to say it's under 100 proof right now. That's just my preliminary guess before my sip. But I don't think if it is 100, it's not going to be over it if I feel that it is. Because the last one had a little more ethanol note on it on A, and I was like, yeah, that's in the high 90s to 100, maybe just a hair over because of the ethanol on it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's my tall tale sign, but in my experiences,
yeah,
generally within plus or minus 5 or so of that 100 mark, either north or south.
Yeah, 100's good. It covers bottled and bonds. It covers 101 proofs. Then there's also a lot of stuff near that.
But like I said, I get a little bit of that ethanol, that alcohol note when it's at that 100 and goes up.
Oh, yeah.
Let me take a sip of this because that candy note on that is different. Anyway, here we go. What the heck? You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd think this was almost like a line of a Johnny Walker blend of something. I know it's not, but I was drinking some Johnny Walker last night I'm like, so that's why I was like, what the heck?
Interesting.
So what I said, my tagline is, what the hell did he send me?
Now I know how Lauren feels whenever I'm playing this whiskey game. It's fun knowing all the answers and hearing you guess. I mean, you're doing well. I mean, from what I can tell you, you're doing well. But it is fun being on this side of the bar for once, knowing all the answers. So
it's good. I like it. It's sweet. It has a little bit of spice, not like A. A had a little bit of that rye spice on the side on my tongue, but this doesn't quite do that. It's more towards the front and almost indicative of an Elijah Craig rye, but I'm not getting a mint taste, but I get the mint feel or freshness that I get on my tongue, but I'm not tasting mint.
Something I would describe it like a florally sweetness, perfumey almost.
Okay, now let me go back to the nose here. So that might be the sweetness. The sweetness is more floral, fruit. I'm going back a little bit into the Scotch side of it, but
yeah, I think that kind of presents itself as that more.
But this is different. There's something about this. I don't know. I don't think it's a traditional straight type bourbon or whiskey. You know, it's just something about it. I don't know what the hell it is. The hell did he send me? It's good. It's good. I could drink a nice dram of this. That's for sure.
Definitely a different profile compared to A for sure.
This is not
different whiskeys.
This is not. I mean, it's not that what I'm saying is this is so different. What the hell?
So go back to A now, and A smells like just caramel bomb compared to.
Well, you know I'm going to because, and this has. It's not bad, but there is something to this that I can't put my finger on, but it's peculiar in the finish. On the exhale, I get a note that I cannot explain, and I don't want to use the term funk, but there's something about it. Let me clean my palate.
I've definitely used that funk term for this one before. It definitely... It's a hard note to pick up, and honestly, I'm not even sure if I ever picked it up.
But it's a blend of something, and I don't know if blend's the right word, but something about it. But I'm leaning towards a blended Scotch, but I know it's not a Scotch, unless he's pulling a fast one on me, people, to see if I actually know the difference. But oh my gosh, the sweetness on A just went boom.
Through the roof, right? Yeah, I know. It's
the sweetness on the A just jumped right up when I.
Yeah, for sure. It's amazing how a whiskey can do that.
Now I'm getting on the A. I know it's not Old Forester for sure, but I just got a whiff of like banana.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely caramel brown sugar. Now I'm on A again. Caramel brown sugar on that. Oh. Man, yeah, wow. That B really brought out A like nobody's business. All right, let me just take another sip here. So B, I'm going to have to say is less than 100, and I'm going to have to put that. I want to say 90 because it's kind of on the weak side on the proof. It's definitely not 80. I know it's not 80 because it's not water. But it's very hard for me to pinpoint a proof on that north of 90, but I'll fiddle in the middle and say 92. It's not high. It's not high at all. 90 is kind of like the lowest I like in when it comes to bourbon. I am a little puzzled on that one.
Well, I
So
figured
I'm going to reserve all
yeah.
my judgment on it because I honestly don't even know, but I can't even give you a distillery on that one like I did because I don't know, and I keep going back to something like a blended. And I'm thinking, what do I have whiskey that's blended other than Scotch? I don't know. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to stick with that 90. I'm going to say 92, just fiddle in the middle because I know if it's 95, I'd be shocked, but I'm leaning that way, but I just don't think it's north of that. It could be a heck of a sipper, and it could be north of that, and it just doesn't sip like that because we've all had whiskeys that are higher in proof, but when you sip it and then somebody tells you, no way, that's 120 proof. No freaking way. And then you find out, son of a bitch, it is.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's some whiskeys that they can surprise you completely out of left field.
Well, there's the surprise.
Whiskeys that smell so ethanol-y that you would think that it's 120 proof.
You would think it's firewater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, B right now has got me befuddled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around, show them what C is.
All right. This is C. And hopefully I can get that so you guys can see it and it can focus. And yeah, so that's C. All right, Anthony, you can turn back around. I'm going to pour myself a glass of C.
All right. So let's get C here. Now this is darker to me than the other two.
Yep.
So I'm going to say this has got maybe a little bit of age on it versus those other ones. Those ones I think were a little on the younger side.
Oh, yeah.
This one has a little age. And so I'm going to say north of 6 years, maybe 10 years, just because of the color on it. You know, it's had some time to sit. But son of a gun could be pulling a fast one and giving me a Texas whiskey, and it's 2 years.
2-year-old Texas whiskey.
I am not ruling out something total left field. I'm not.
Huh? Well, good. You got to always.
This is a familiar nosing. What the heck is this? This is familiar. Wow. This is damn, this is very familiar. What the heck?
There's a good chance you may have had something along these lines.
Now before. This has a definitely brown sugar, like a caramel, burnt, not burnt, but a warm brown sugar cream, marshmallowy bread, like a warm sweet type bread note. Damn. All right, let me. Now I'm really interested. Like, I know this. I just don't know what it is.
That's always going. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking delicious. That is definitely over 100 proof.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've had this bottle.
The mouthfeel, the viscosity on this is great. The sweetness just rolls. The finish is just coming back over the tongue, both sides of it.
There's a lot going on in that one.
I want to say larceny, but I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at that. It's up there in the higher proof. It's definitely not Jack Daniels. I'm going to say it. I know it's not Jack Daniels.
It's actually Jack Daniels 80 proof small batch.
No, right. No way. If
Yeah.
that's what it turns out to be, I'm signing off. That's
Yeah,
for
goodbye
sure.
YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, this is something. I've had something similar. These blinds. I mean, people think that it's easy,
Oh yeah,
but
it's
it's the
definitely
best
can
way
throw you
to
for a loop.
re-experience your whiskey. I have my wife do different things like that. She'll pour me 3 or 4. There's stuff that I have, and I'll just blind it, and then I'll arrange it and find out, holy smokes, it's what? And I rated that last. That's my favorite.
Yeah, you go back and you realize that
It's
bottles
the
are just
best.
better than you thought. Sometimes I have my fiance, I'll just be in the mood for whiskey, but I'm too lazy to pick one out. So I'll say, just go pour a bottle, any bottle off the shelf, and then I'll just sit there and try to guess what it is. And I sit there for 20, 30 minutes and just slowly sip on it and try to figure out what it is. And sometimes, it ends up being Elijah Craig's small batch. And I'm like, it's been so long since I've had it, but it tastes, so good, like a lot better than I remember. And it just kind of works out. And you find things that you like and you didn't realize that you liked it at the time.
You know what?
Maybe it had a negative.
You struck a chord when you said Elijah Craig.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you struck a chord. I don't know now. Yeah, I was leaning towards larceny. Now you said Elijah Craig, and I went because you said small batch. And believe it or not, that's like one of my favorite sippers.
I know.
It's one of my favorite sippers. I mean,
I just made a TikTok.
Hangman's going to be shocked when I tell him
face.
I would push Long Branch aside for some from Elijah Craig small batch. He's going to be shocked. I know Jack is shocked that I even said that, but it's just beside the point. But
yeah, I definitely Elijah Craig small batch is honestly an underrated beginner bottle for sure. I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for.
Wow. This is like, Sugar Kitty's right. I mean, I love doing this stuff. This is, to me, is great. And it's probably stuff I've had. I just can't frickin' figure it out at all on there. Oh, Taylor, cheers.
Hey, Tay. It was her birthday is tomorrow, by the way. And that's who we were celebrating at the breweries with earlier today. So everyone happy birthday to her.
Yeah, happy birthday to her. Raise this glass because I'm still trying to figure out what the heck it is. Yeah. But man, you got me going now. Craig, larceny. Definitely not Old Tub. That's for damn sure. This is not as easy as people think, but it's like I know this. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I would never have went. You mentioned the Elijah Craig, so I'm like, holy crap, yeah, maybe. I'm thinking now.
Elijah Craig is one of those ones that I consistently go back to after a long time of not having it. And I always think, why haven't I had it in so long? Because it's so good.
Well, I love Elijah Craig. I mean, you see them lined up there. The backups are up on top of my shelf. But that's the small batch. And then, there's Toasted Barrel. There's the A 121, B or A 121, 521, so on and so forth. And I've got some private barrels, 8, 10, 12 years. They're just good. But anyway.
How do you feel about the toasted barrel? I just got a bottle recently, and I know some people think it's the best thing that God has put on this planet, and other people think that it's, the equivalent to swill. So
I'm going to have to say, if I'm picking right now, I'm hooked on the Elijah Craig thing. I'm going to go with that profile. I'm going to go with the hell proof is that? I'm going to say it's got to be it's that profile. So I'm going to say it's around 115 proof, 100. I'm going to say 120 because it's got some twang on that. And the profile is something I know. And the reason I picked Elijah Craig is because I'm thinking about the small batch and I'm like, it smells definitely similar, but the taste.
I'm definitely getting a profound like peanutty note on the palate.
I
Not
don't
as
get
much
the
on the
peanut,
nose.
the marshmallow, and I get marshmallowy, like a toasted marshmallow off of Elijah Craig. So I'm like, what in the heck is this? But I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to say, like I said, I think this is an older whiskey. So at least 10 years, give or take, because of the color. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing only because you said that. And I'm like, I'm probably going to go with that for.
Put that in your brain, huh?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why. This is very good. C is very damn good. Very damn good. I'm going to have a little more.
Mark. Sure.
Wow. The exhale on that is tremendous.
Indeed.
There's something in here. Like I said, it's definitely not a young whiskey. I'm going to go with about 10 years. It could be north of that, but I'm going to go with 10. I'm going to stick with my high proof. You know, Larceny, Elijah Craig. I'm going to stick with the Elijah Craig because for some reason that's
in your brain now. It's
in my brain, but the profile's so damn close. The one I'm really still on the fence on is the first one. I know it. I can't think of what in the hell that is. So anyway, let me clean my palate here for a second. I'm not prolonging the agony. I just want to go back to A.
Yeah, I think once you hear what it is, maybe you'll understand a little bit better.
Oh yeah. After drinking C, A is definitely way lower proof, so that is definitely a higher proof whiskey.
After
C is definitely a higher proof whiskey.
Yeah.
Because when I went to A, it was like drinking 80 proof, and I know that was not 80 proof. That was not 80 proof. But wow, so I'm definitely, it's a higher proof bourbon on C.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn around, show them what D is.
All right. Last but definitely not least, everybody, this is D. And let me show you this. You guys can kind of see. I don't know. Hold on.
Take your time. I'm in no hurry. I got nowhere to go.
There, you guys can see that. All right. So you can turn around now. I'll pour myself a glass.
All right. I'm going to cleanse my palate here a little bit more.
And as usual, nobody give him any hints. Although I don't know if he needs many. He seems to be doing pretty well. He's got a lot of the those proof points and flavor notes. He seems to be doing very well with these.
Well, I'll say this, Hanging. You know, on this last one, see, I was kind of torn on that. If is it a Larceny or Elijah Craig? But you know, when he said that small batch, that really kind of just like I think. But I'm not 1,000% sure. But I'm 98.7 that it's an Elijah Craig. But anyway, I got to get one of those benchmark full proofs and stuff like that. I don't have those yet because they're not here. But you know, got to get.
I have a benchmark 8-year, and I only bought it because I saw it and I knew what it was, and it was like $8, and I'm like,
you got to get it.
A $7.50 for $8, like for 8-year-old whiskey. I mean, I'll buy it. But I've never seen any of the full proof or anything around here, so.
Hanging, these are interesting. I mean, especially C. And when I jumped back to A, it was like, oh yeah, that's definitely a higher proof one. And it did throw me because I'm like, no, C is definitely the higher proof. A is not. I'm gonna, you know, A definitely isn't an 80, but it from B is still the one I'm kind of on the fence on because I can't figure that one out. It's not high proof or anything like that. It's in the 90s. I'm fiddling in the middle of that one still. But now we're going to go get into D like dog. Here it is. It looks like it's got some age to it. I don't know. But it's dark. I'm going to look at C for a second here again.
Do a side by side, yeah.
Do a little side by side.
Pretty
Damn,
similar.
they're close. They're close. So this D might be an older whiskey, or he could have thrown in a 2-year Texas whiskey. It's probably Balcones Red and wants me to freaking die.
What I did is I put Long Branch in a mini
the-
barrel and I aged it for a while for you.
What the hell is that? Man, that's something I know too, but I don't know what the hell it is.
Everyone's saying Benchmark 8 isn't 8 years old. You know what? They always do that, and they always get me. They always put that number on the bottle, and then they don't say years, so technically everyone sees it and thinks 8 years old, but you guys are right. That's not 8 years. I think I knew that at some point, but I always see Benchmark 8, and I just assume it's 8 years old. Yeah. So 8 is just their brand, kind of like Jack Daniel's old number 7 or whatever. It's not 7 years old. It's just their brand, whatever. My bad.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, because here's C again hanging. This is C here. This is the D. But to me, they're very close, but I don't know. A decent nose on D, like dog. I'm not sure what that is, but there's something peculiar about it. But definitely there's sweetness to this. It's very sweet to me on the nose. Huh. This is interesting. I thought B was throwing me for a loop. I don't know about this one. This one here I might be in the same boat with D here. I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, I like to throw a few wrenches in the system.
Well, that's the whole idea. I mean, honestly, that's just exactly what you want.
And when you hear these things, you'll understand where a lot of this stuff is coming from. But I think part of the thing that makes really good whiskey is having something that's not going to be the same as everything else. You know, you can get a bunch of MGP whiskeys, and while they'll be different slightly, they're all MGP, and they're all going to have some similar common notes, whereas a lot of these in this lineup are just wildly different than others in this lineup. So I think it makes for an interesting flight having a bunch of different kinds of offerings.
Shit, what the hell?
Did you taste it?
Somebody give me George Dickel or some shit like that? What the hell? All right. Let me clean my palate there. Maybe I got some leftover crap on there.
Sugar Kitty, yes, I do pay $8 to stay at a Motel 8. Whenever I see the number 8, I just assume that everything that has to do with it is 8. I pay $8 for Hotel 8, and they serve me Benchmark 8, which is actually 8 years old. So, Hey, Mazie says I need to show off my watches more to support my sponsor. I actually have a whole case of watches.
Oh, don't get me started on watches, dude.
Yeah, I love watches. Have you ever heard of Wrist Mafia?
No.
Wrist Mafia is a subscription company, which, awesome plug, by the way. Yeah, Wrist Mafia is a subscription-based company. You pay like a flat rate of $40 a month, and every month they'll send you a new watch just randomly. So you don't get a pick or anything, but they kind of just like send you different ones, and it kind of expands your collection from what you would normally buy. And each watch is valued at over $100. So you're getting your money's worth, and they're getting to show off smaller brands watches for the smaller brands, which is how they get it to be so cheap. And then I actually have a coupon code for it if ever you're interested. It's Bourbon Bar, all caps, all one word. So yeah, it's pretty cool. They send some really nice watches, and I've been wearing them for a long time.
There's something mineral in here. That's for damn sure, James. It's like, what the heck is that? What the heck? But there's a nice caramel cinnamon note on the nose. I mean, it's pleasant. I'm going to take another sip, but man, there was something about that. I was like, wow. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a hint. I don't have any Dickel on my shelf at all. In fact, I've never even drank Dickel before. I've never drank a bottle of Dickel before.
This is okay, but there's something about it that's like, now that I got the second sip, I think I had too much of the other stuff still on the palate, but you know, I'm just going to go out on a limb. I don't know, but I had a bad experience with Discovery 5 a while ago. And that one was full of like Dickel juice. I mean, I was so disappointed in that bottle.
I've heard bad things about
I was disappointed in that bottle. I even went back to it some time later and I still said it's shit. And I pushed it to the back of my Bardstown collection. And about 7 months went by and I decided I'm going to go back to it just to see if it got any better, because, you know, you spent the money on the bottle. You choked down 2 good glasses of it to get it past the shoulder. And believe me, when I say choke down on that Disco 5, I had to choke that shit down. I just was not happy. So I poured another one. This has been a few months ago. And I was like, damn, it actually improved. It actually improved to where I was like, oh, I might be able to actually drink this thing now, because it opened up some. I mean, it had that taste, and now that's what I'm like, what the hell is this? But
you know,
this one doesn't seem to be. This one doesn't seem to be overpowering, and so I'm thinking, you know, it was similar, and when I'm grasping at some straws because I'm trying to make connections to come up with something. But I have a Chattanooga in the cask strength, so it does the it's a Tennessee whiskey, so you know they use that Lincoln County process. So sometimes people will say that has a little minerality to it, and that's what's in my head. And I'm like, but I like that one. But that's what it's triggering in my head. Okay. And then when I looked back before, I caught a glimpse of the Bardstown. I'm like, well, the 5 I didn't like. And it was, I'm not saying it's a similar note, but it's something along that line. Right. And so I go back to look at my whiskey collection and go, what is similar? What is similar? And what is similar? So, you know, I have Dickel sitting up there, but that one that I have doesn't have that mineral note to it. It's their bottled and bond, but it's 11-year-old. And it's not minerally like most of them are. And so I'm like, what in the heck? So anyway, it's not bad. It's definitely not Disco 5. I know that. It's not Disco 5. But
it's interesting you have that minerality note. See, I never have had the bad Dickel experience as a lot of people have.
So we can send you a bad Dickel experience. Don't you worry.
It's not a common note for me. But I guess after you say that, I could taste on the palate what you mean when you're saying minerality. No. Although I loved Flintstone vitamins as a kid, so maybe I would like.
I did too. We all had that. But
yeah, I've just been scared to buy a bottle of Dickel. I waste my money on something that everyone says.
Oh, absolutely. That 15-year, some of them are absolutely horrible. But then there are some that are a phenomenal bottle. Whiskey knows, Marty, he knows Dickel. And I'm not being a smart ass or anything like that, but he knows his Dickel juice. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not being a smart ass, but he'll drink some Dickel. Now the proof is kind of, I'm not sure. It's definitely not a 90 or 95 proofer. I'm kind of floating around the C note on the 100 proof at least, and I'm trying to figure if it's north of 100. When I say north, is it north of 105? Is it pushing 110? I don't know. It doesn't quite drink like that.
Yeah, this one definitely. I mean, especially coming off of C, this one's
exactly. So I'm kind of ruined on that a little bit, but that's why I had that other one.
Definitely seemed hotter than all of these by far.
Well, C definitely is hotter, as in it's a higher proof, no doubt. Between A, B, and even this, C is the highest proof. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I'm grabbing straws when I say it's about 120, 115, but I'm gonna north of the 115. But anyway, this definitely isn't that. But it's not 115 for sure. 110. I'm at the point where I want to flip a coin. I'm more leaning towards maybe 102, 105 area. It doesn't drink hot at all. Doesn't have a lot of that ethanol. Doesn't have. Oh, what is that? Sorry.
Something's revolting.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just
different.
There's something there that it's, it's dark, so I don't want to say it has a young note, but it has a young note to it.
Right.
Like it has young whiskey in it, but it's a little more refined. How do I say that? Does that sound right? It's a little more refined, but I'm getting
not like
I'm getting some of that on the tongue.
But you're getting that. Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm trying to figure that out. It's a little more on the refined side. That it's got some sophistication, like, and it's not a. I'm gonna go. It's like a blended whiskey. I don't know. But there's definitely some mineral to it. I'm getting a little bit of a young note. Just it's slight, but it's there, and it could be the oak tannins. It could be that. I'll go there. I mean, without having the bottle to say, okay, yeah, this is that. I'm just this is what I'm getting off of this thing. It's good. It's not stellar to me. It's drinkable. I don't think I'd be disappointed if I owned it. However, I don't think I'd want to come home and go, oh my gosh, I've got to grab this bottle. But it's good. It's something I would go to, but I don't know. There's something about it, a little young, a little mineral, age-wise, maybe 8-year-old. I don't know. It's definitely, I'm guessing it could be a 10 or 12. It just could be the way it is because it's dark like this C. And I think I called, if I'm right, I called C at around 10 years, give or take. I mean, C may be a little older, but I'm going to go with 10 years just to be on the safe side. I'm leaning more towards the 11, but I think 10 is a good round number. But anyway, so the color's similar, but I really don't think it is much older than D. Let me just say D. I don't think it's much older than 10, and 10 would be pushing it in my opinion. It may have some, because of the color, it may have a bit of 10-year juice in it or 12-year, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. But I don't think it's that old of a whiskey.
Okay.
I don't know. But
I mean, We'll find out for sure when the bottles get revealed. But which one of these do you think?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Which one do you think is your favorite so far? I mean, you've had all of them
C.
now.
C, because I'm a proofy bitch. I'm a proofy bitch.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Everybody knows that. I'm a proofy bitch. I've got one of Whiskey Encore's t-shirts that say proofy bitch.
Yeah.
So the proof to me, the C is it. Right now, the up there. And that's intriguing. But B is the one I'm still trying to really figure out. I'm just trying to figure out really what is this thing? B is the one that's kind of got me that I can't pick something other than it's
Sure,
it's a blend of something. I keep wanting to go to Johnny Walker, but I know it's not. But so I know it's a blended something, and I could be wrong. But I know I'm wrong. But that's just what I'm going to.
You never know.
I'm getting kind of I got kind of a rye taste, but I don't think it is because I don't know why I get this blended type of a note that I get from the Johnny Walker blended Scotch. There's something about it. I can't put my finger on it.
Right.
I don't know. So I'm going to take another sip of B. I got my palate cleansed a little bit.
Okay.
But C is definitely number one. The higher proof. It could be an Elijah Craig. I don't know, but I'm going to grab at least 100 and 120 proof, probably 10-year. I mean, it could be north, but I'm going to just fiddle in the middle on the 10-year on that. Okay. But it's good. And it's something I've had. And I'm because you mentioned the small batch, I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, maybe. But then I went, oh, larceny. Anyway, sorry. But this B, and I hate to use the term funk, but there's a funk to this.
There really is. I mean, I've never thought of a word better than funk when I'm drinking this one. It's got something in it that's hard to place for sure.
Well, I don't know what it is.
I think as soon as you hear the bottle name, though, you're going to understand what it is. But
it's a nice sipper. It is around in the mid 90s. When I say mid 90s, 90 to 95, somewhere in there. It's not a high proofer. It's definitely not in the 80s. I'll go a little south of the 90, maybe, but no. There's some spice to this, almost like it's a rye because it's grabbing my tongue.
Yeah, it definitely leaves something on your tongue after you swallow it.
It does. It does.
You can feel it on your tongue.
There's some complexity to this, and I don't know what the hell it is because I'm not getting a real young note like a bourbon that's 5 years. I'm just using that as a general thing.
Right.
But I'm getting some more mellow notes out of it, like aged. Do you know what I'm saying? That's had some time. And I don't
to mature and
I don't know how to explain it. And I'm grasping for things in my head because B is the most perplexing to me.
Nothing really jumps out as much as everything's kind of blended together.
No,
and subtle
B does not. B does not jump out at me because I don't know what I can't even. I'm turning around because I'm just trying to think of something that would be close that I could say, oh, it's close to this, or oh, it reminds me of that. But no. But it's a profile that is familiar, but I honestly cannot. And I know I've had something similar to it, and I want to go with almost. Wow. See, I'd almost go with. So this is funny. I was going to pour this, my first pour before you got on, just to start.
Yep.
And I'm leaning towards a Redwood Empire because the profile on this, or some of the tastes I'm getting, are like the Lost Monarch, is like Pipe Dream or Emerald Giant.
Now, Lost Monarch, that's a burr rye, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
haven't had it, but I've consistently heard good things about it between other channels, people in the.
this is good for around
and
30, 35 bucks when you find it. Yeah, it's definite buy.
It's actually all over the place here in Wisconsin. All three of those Lost Monarchs are.
Well, let me just say,
buying,
I didn't have any today, but that's sitting right here. And I was looking at it as I sipped this just now. I went, huh.
Right.
Maybe.
It just makes you think. You're just like, oh, well, maybe.
So I know you probably haven't had it, but let me just grab this real quick. So this is one that I actually like, and it's my last bottle, but it's batch one. So I can't find batch one anymore, is why I don't want to open it. But this one right here, Triple R Russian River Rye. It's only 90 proof, but this is made by Redwood Empire for Total Wine.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay.
Yes. Yes. Huh. And holy smokes, this is a damn good rye. But anyway,
I've never actually even heard of that. The only Total Wine in the area, generally from the Green Bay area, which is where I'm from, is the closest one is Milwaukee, which is an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, and I almost never am in that area, so I'd not add Total Wine very often. Otherwise, I think that might even be the only one in the state. If there's any other ones, it's either in Madison or on the west side of the state, which are all 3 hours away. So,
well, the artwork I love on this thing, but this is bad. I think they're on 4 or 5 right now.
4.
But if you find this, I'll tell anybody, if you find a batch one, get it. And it's not old. It's only 3 years or more. But it's a decent sipper if you like rye. I was really surprised. But anyway, for what, getting back to that, the profile on this, as a matter of fact, I'm holding the bottles up because damn it, they're so similar.
I love the artwork they put on their bottles. It's so awesome.
Do. But anyway, it's just one you're not going to find, but it's striking a chord with me. And even now when I go to B, I'm almost leaning towards a rye on B, but now I'm just grasping. So C is my first pick, followed, I'm going to say, by B, A, and then D like dog. Okay, that is my order right now because I'm a proofy bitch. And I just don't know what else to say other than go ahead and reveal and let me see what a fool I've made of myself.
Well, we'll start with your last place and we'll work our way up to number 1. So last place, D as in dog.
Let me get it. Hold on. Let me highlight you so I can see the damn thing. Because
Bardstown Bourbon Company.
That's a Discovery.
Discovery Series 6.
Huh. Which got the Dickel juice in it.
Consists of 68% Kentucky 11-year whiskey, 16% Tennessee 17-year whiskey, which would be the Dickel.
Yes.
And 16% Indiana 7-year whiskey. So very, very good on the guessing of that one. You got that Dickel.
And I put it last.
Honestly, I'm surprised because I like this bottle a lot, which honestly it makes me think I might like Dickel. Lord forbid that I actually like Dickel. But, if I like it, then maybe I'll just be one of those people who like it and everyone else they can think what they want of me, but maybe I'll like it. But I actually love this bottle a lot.
Well, what's the proof on it? I don't even know.
So it's 111.1 proof.
Oh, I wasn't far off the mark.
No, and for the average year, I'm thinking average is around that 11-year mark. I don't know. 17 plus 7 is 24 plus 11 is
Well,
35 divided by 3.
if the smallest year in there, in other words, the lowest year is 7, it would be considered a 7-year bourbon. And I said it's
Right, yeah.
probably that, if I remember correctly. I think I called it, maybe it's 7-year, if that.
Yep. Yeah, but
10, I can't remember what I said.
68% of it is an 11-year, and then 16% of it's a 17-year. So age statement wise, it would be considered a 7-year whiskey if it was age stated. But for the percentages and everything, the average.
So now I know why it's dark, though, because you have some older whiskeys mixed in.
Is 11 years. All high corn mash bills. 2 of the mash bills are 75% corn, and the Tennessee Dickel mash bill is 84% corn. So all very high corn mash bills. I thought this one was fantastic. I liked it a lot, but like I said, that's just my palate. I think maybe I might end up liking Dickel someday, but yeah, it's good. But we can move on.
It wasn't terrible, but it just, out of all of them, I had to put that last because there was just, well, Sugar Kitty, you're right. I did keep saying blended, but guess what? It kind of is a blend of a hodgepodge of whiskeys.
Yeah.
It was that Dickel that was throwing me, and I didn't know, but like, there's something about this. And I've had it before. I kept saying I had it before. And so now I know what that note was. It was from the Disco 5.
Yeah. Which I think this one had significantly less Dickel than Disco 5, but still has that presence in there. So just enough to taint it to make you know what it is. But good guesses on that because you actually hit a lot of the marks. I think the proof you were very close on. I think you were at like 105 or something. Or
I didn't say 105. I said it could be a little north. I said, but I don't know. It doesn't drink like it's hot.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I just finished the glass, and it does not drink like it's 100 and whatever it is.
No, it definitely drinks less than 110 or 111.
Yeah, it's definitely doesn't drink like that. So kudos to them on that part of it, because I wouldn't have got that. I was pushing the 100, and I said, no, it's definitely over 100, but
I almost just fell off my stool there.
It happens, and you've only had one drop. Yeah,
I know. But we'll move on to glass A now, which was your third place. So you had guessed around the 5 to 6 year mark. This bottle is 5 years old. So
it was a young whiskey,
which may not have been the reason you smell what you smell, but we'll get to that. You guessed around that 100 proof-ish mark.
Yeah.
It is 100 proof. It's bottled in bond.
Okay.
And the bottle is Redwood Empire Grizzly Beast, which is a 4-grain mash bill. So you were right when you were calling out that Redwood Empire profile. You were spot on.
I'm telling you, I was gonna drink this before the stream to kind of get me warmed up, but I thought, well, I don't want to ruin anything. And I'm like,
you would have drank it, and you would have been like comparing.
What? I know, and it's sitting right here. And what are we at? 45 ABV.
Yep. Mash bill is a 4-grain. It's 69% corn, 22% rye, which you guessed could be a high rye. 22% getting close to that high rye territory. 5% malted barley and 4% wheat. So I was thinking those kind of younger notes that you could also be getting that wheat and that 4-grainy. This one I always got almost like a zesty, like a lemon zest or like grapefruit rind type notes in it with that sourness.
There was something in there, like I kept saying, it's got that younger bite to me.
Yep.
So that would give me that.
Yeah. So very spot on with that one. Glass A, you hit out of the park. But now we'll move on to glass B, which was your number 2. And this one, you definitely aren't going to be expecting. And that is because, well, first we'll go through your proof. Really spot on again. This is a 94 proof drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say whiskey. 94 proof drink. And age statement is a little bit out there, but we'll get to that. And it was Sazerac de Forge Cognac. So this is a cognac, not a bourbon. So you're right. That funkiness could have been those grapes that they would use in like a cognac, and this is from Sazerac, from the people who make Buffalo Trace and
Yeah.
BTAC and all that stuff.
And
I got this in New Orleans when I went with my
and I
fiance.
remember you showing that bottle.
Yep.
I remember that bottle. And I kept saying, it's like a blend of something.
Yep.
And there's something about it. I said, but it's more refined. That was my thing. It's more refined.
Because
so now
the age statement is interesting because it doesn't disclose the age statement or even the percentages of what it is. What they tell you is that it's a blend of multiple cognacs ranging from 2 years to 50 years old. So it could be like a drop of 50-year-old cognac. It could be more, but it doesn't even tell you anything apart from 2 to 50 years is the age statement, whatever they want to say on this particular bottle. But yeah, it's only in New Orleans. I think it was like $140 or something close to that mark. You can either get it in France, you can get it shipped over somehow, or you can buy it at the Sazerac house in New Orleans, and that's the only couple ways you can get it. But it is really interesting, like you said, light and fruity. I got like a malty note on it as well, kind of like almost like a Highland Scotch type situation where it has that like maltiness and like light fruitiness and florally too.
That's why I said I know it's not a Scotch, but I'm leaning towards that, and it's like something like a blend of something. I go, but I keep going to that Johnny Walker, and I go, I know it's not, but it was so refined. I said, there's something about this, and I was like, I didn't want to call it a whiskey, but I knew they were. I mean, that's what the flight you said you were sending me, and I'm like, but it's not like anything I've had, and so I really just couldn't put my finger on it, and I kept turning around and looking, and I go, I can't think of anything that comes close.
Yeah, so that leaves one bottle left. Your favorite, which, of course, it is. Seems to be a lot of people's favorite. And proof-wise, you were right there with. I mean, I'd say if you went on Matt Madness next year, you would probably crush it. Proof, you guessed around 120, and the proof is 120.8. So very close on the proof.
Really? What the hell? What the hell was it? I mean, I said it was like an Elijah Craig, but I was flipping it between the Larceny and the Elijah Craig.
Right.
But when you said the small batch, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go with Elijah Craig because I'm thinking about the small batch and the Elijah Craig, and I'm looking at it and I go, that toasted kind of like marshmallow sweetness, the brown sugar. I'm like, and I kept. Because you mentioned that, I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm fixated on it now.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it out of my head. And I'm still like, I know you haven't pulled up, so don't pull it up yet. I'm still like, but I'm going to go with it. But I'm not sure. But that's what I think.
So you guessed 10 years old. And this is close, not quite. It's 12 years old. And it is Elijah
Son
Craig
of a brick. Hold on. Let me put that back up.
Right.
It is.
So this is batch A122.
See, I've never had it. Never had any of the A122, 522s.
You've never had it.
I've never had it because I keep missing them at the stores here. Holy smokes, that is Elijah Craig.
Yep. So, I mean, understandably your favorite. I mean, out of all of these, I think in the whiskey community alone, Elijah Craig is a clear favorite for a lot of people. This one it throws a lot of people for a loop. It's a cognac, so obviously you weren't gonna. I threw you for a loop, but I know I had to include it. It's something you're probably never gonna have unless you go to New Orleans and try it.
This B,
I figured I would throw that one in there for you as well.
B is. I still got it right here. I'm holding C, but B was just I couldn't figure it out, and I'm like, I've not had like it, but it's light, it's fruity, it's good, it's a blend of something. I'm like, I don't know what it is. I just don't know. It's not a high proofer by far, and I almost was just going to straight call out 95 to kind of because I said it's not 100.
Had your
But
bets,
then I was wondering. I said, what if it is 100? But it's one of those that drink way down, and so I almost was going to say 100 because it was. I would not have got that. I just wouldn't, because I'm going into the whiskey line, not cognac.
Yeah, it's one thing, you trick your brain because when you're expecting whiskey, and that's honestly the one thing that turned me off to Scotch in the beginning. When I tried my first glass of Scotch, first of all, I tried Lafroig, which is already a very overwhelming Scotch to try on your first Scotch. But when you go from drinking whiskey and expecting that sweet profile, that nice, elegant, like just candied profile, and you switch to something like a Lafroig or something that's not a bourbon profile, your brain is trying to comprehend what you're tasting, and it's weird. I couldn't
figure it out.
Bourbon, but it has nothing to do with bourbon, what you normally are used to drink.
It absolutely didn't. And I'm like, but this doesn't drink like a bourbon. So I almost was going to call it an Armagnac. That's what I was going to do.
Very similar, yeah.
But I'm like, I don't think you have Armagnac.
I don't. I've had.
That's why I didn't say it. But in my head, I was like, this is like an Armagnac. But I was not getting the maltiness that I get on Armagnac.
Right.
And I'm like, but it's not a whiskey.
Yep.
And I was right. But I was like, this is a whiskey flight. So anyway, I've got the C or the B right here. And yes, I'm going to finish that off because the next one is, of course, the C. And I'm not going to try to go to C right now and then come back down to this.
Yeah, it'll taste like water. It's so fun going off of B, going off of the cognac, and then switching to all these whiskeys because it changes them so much. The B, the cognac is so light and like just floral and perfumey, and has like a bit of earthiness and like funk to it. And then you go to something like these bourbons and they just have distinct bourbon notes. And then everything seems so much more clear to you at how sweet bourbon is compared to other spirits.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, this is like, holy smokes. This was great. But this B is the one that really threw me.
For a loop.
I knew there was something about D, the Bardstown. I go, there's something about it I know. There was a profile I know. So I picked the Dickel because it's just not one of my favorite things. And like I said, it was just a coincidence. I turned around and thought, it's like the Disco 5, but I'm like, there's something else about it. It's more palatable.
Yeah.
Everyone said it's nowhere like Disco 5. It's much more palatable. So that's why I was moving away from it. And I'm thinking, well, some other Tennessee whiskeys that I have, the Chattanooga, I'm like, well, that's got a little bit of minerality to it, but I like that.
Right.
It's not off-putting to me. So
yeah,
I was kind of looking at that. I was kind of looking at that and going, I wonder if it's to Chattanooga, but that's when I said to you, do you have it? And you said, well, it's here and there, but you don't have any. And I'm like,
yeah. Sean.
Yeah,
cheers.
Finally being on a stream together, which is
pretty
awesome. How you doing, man?
I'm normally never awake this late on a Sunday night, but this is fun. I mean, we're having a blast over here.
Yeah, and also
this is truly
Anthony, man. You freaking killed it. I mean, picking out Redwood Empire profile, that's nuts,
but
man.
The whole thing about it is that's what I was going to drink before the stream.
The fact that he was going to drink that and I pulled out this.
Yeah, but I mean, still, because it's somewhat MGP. So, to narrow it down to Redwood Empire, that's pretty damn amazing, man. That was impressive.
But I just was drinking that this week. So that's why I'm like, I know this. Why do I know this profile? Why do I know this? Why do I know this? And so I just hope Independent Joe is sweating right now because he challenged me.
Can't wait.
To a flight. So I hope he's sweating because there's not going to be a tie now. There's not going to be a tie.
He's talking smack before the fight.
I know he's hanging around somewhere.
And also really, really nice blind there, Holden. That was cool.
Oh,
nice
it's
variety.
amazing. He did a great job. I love it. I'm drinking the B because this is the one that made me go, holy crap, what is this?
And then also Anthony basically almost picking the freaking Discovery. That was also
I know. He goes, it's similar to Discovery 5, and I'm like, well, Well,
that maybe. Remember, I don't like disco. I mean, the Disco 5, but that was just only because I turned around and I saw the bottles that I went there.
So how many of the Discovery series have you had?
1, 2, 4, and 5. I couldn't find 6.
Okay.
So now you gave me 6. I'm not running out to buy it anytime soon.
I have 6 and 7, and I was contemplating which one to send you. A lot of people like 7 better than 6. I like 6 better, which is why I sent it to you. But maybe I should have sent you 7. You would have actually liked that a lot better.
I would not have known, probably.
And that's interesting what Sure Kitty posted there. So Grizzly Beast is not MGP at all. Okay, well then, I don't know. Then Anthony's just amazing. I don't even know how you guessed that then. That now makes even less sense.
Well, it was only because it was here. And like I said, I kept looking at it, and I'm like, God, it's something similar about it. And it was here. Like I said, it's the power of suggestion. That's all it is. The power of suggestion. I kept looking at it, and I go, and just like the disco, like I said, I turned around. I can see it behind the Uncle Nearest, and I'm like, well, Disco 5 had that minerality and blah, 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 blah. And we talked about Dickel, and I'm looking up at my Dickel juice up here.
Dickel juice.
Bring it down. I've got this one. It's the Bottled and Bond, and I've had it for a couple of years.
That is a good one, to be fair.
It is. It's the 11-year-old. Here,
I really got to try Dickel. I think I just something about the fact that like when I was a kid, part of my favorite part of my day was eating those Flintstone vitamins. Like maybe I'll actually be the 1 in a million who likes Dickel. I know I saw JC or Jack. I never know because it's all caps, but Jack said that he likes Dickel and how he stands out. Maybe I will too. If I like this Disco 6, maybe that Dickel note. Because I honestly, when he was reviewing it, I was thinking like part of my favorite part of the Disco is the palate, and after it finishes, that flavor that comes back. And he goes, and he was a little turned off by the minerality, and I'm like, that's honestly my favorite part. So it's worrying me now. Everyone's going to be Dickel blinds.
And first off, I mean, you like what you like, so no need to apologize. But so I mean, I have a few bottles that are Dickel, and like they're okay. Like I'm not as off put by it as some people are. Like some people like just can't stand it, and it's not my favorite. But like if somebody poured it for me, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is terrible. There's some decent Dickel stuff out there. I mean, I got a Bib and Tucker, which is Dickel sourced.
Really?
I got a Dickel. What the heck is it? It's like the private select barrel thing down there. That one's decent. The proof's just kind of low. That's what kind of hurts that one. And then I have, this Bardstown. This is like one of my favorite bottles of all time, and it is. That's right. It doesn't give the breakdown, but I think this is primarily Dickel here, the Fiver Pavet XO.
Okay.
Yeah, and like because it's finished in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels, like you don't really taste the minerality, so it's fine. Like some people are like, "Oh, I can taste it over that." I mean, I guess you can a little bit. To me, it's like I said, it's not that big a deal to me. So
yeah. I agree. I think maybe it even adds something as long as you're not turned off. Because honestly, there's some notes in whiskeys that you taste it and it's just an immediate turn off and it's wrenching to you. Well, then you don't like that kind of stuff. But for those people that it's not gut wrenching to drink, like it offers something different that these other whiskeys didn't have. Is that minerality that might be something that someone's looking for once in a while.
True.
Hanging AZ says, to be fair, do you guys have either of you guys seen Letterkenny?
No.
TV show. A bunch of Canadian people yelling "to be fair" all the time. It's a funny show in case you ever are interested. Hanging AZ, good stream tonight, boys. Good times. Cheers.
Yeah, it is. That flight.
Somebody asked me a question earlier.
That flight really was good. Joe,
Jack,
you should be sweating right now, Joe. Sweating. You challenged me to a blind. I just apparently crushed this one here, and I pulled it all out of my ass.
If Bourbon Neophyte ends up on Matt Madness next year, we're gonna have a new Matt Madness winner because
no way.
Serious,
no
I'm
way,
serious.
not me.
I'll join Matt Madness's Patreon, and I'll vote you on there. That way, maybe you'll have a chance to get picked in.
I'm telling you though, Anthony. I mean, to pick out Redwood Empire's profile, if that's even I don't even think of that as being a thing, but like to do that
was
he picked out Redwood Empire,
ECBP,
and
Bardstown.
The only one he didn't get was the cognac, and who would have got that?
This one.
Exactly.
The cognac.
He's thinking whiskey, and like that's.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, this isn't a whiskey. But I'm like, what did he find? And it could be.
He nailed the 3 bottles that were whiskey, to be fair.
But this one, well, I knew this wasn't, but I didn't call it because I'm like, well, maybe he found that one, that's, what the hell is this? But, oh, yeah, it was something. I'm just not I was.
And Jack, I've not tried the Fusion 7. I know a lot of guys that have, but I haven't tried it.
How are the Fusion series? I've never bought them because I've always heard that Discovery is a lot better and that Fusion is almost.
I'll argue with that point now. The Discovery has kind of dropped. But
wait, did he ask me about Discovery or Fusion? Yeah, I just kind
of Fusion.
Okay, yeah.
The one thing I don't like about the Discovery is they seem to be dropping them relatively quickly, and for $140 a bottle. It's like I can't justify buying 2 or 3 of their releases a year at $140 when there's other brands that are releasing just as good, if not better, whiskey. It's like I just saw a Disco 8, or my fiance saw a Disco 8 in the store, and she said, "Do you want me to buy this for you?" And I said no because I just bought 2 Discos for $140 recently. It's like.
I've heard a lot of good things about Disco 8. A lot of people are saying it's the best thing since Disco 4. So
really,
it might be worth a pickup.
I can't pick it up. They don't come here anymore. But Joe, you should be shaking. You should be shaking, Joe. I'm just telling you. You should be worried.
I think this will be a good one. I think this will be a good one.
Anthony versus future, Joe. And I think it's going to be an epic stream. And people are going to flock to see this fight.
So when is that stream anyway?
We don't know. We haven't set it up. He just challenged me the other night.
It's going to be Tyson versus Holyfield all over again. No earbuds.
You're going to be squaring up in the UFC.
More like Curious George versus Tyson, but You're going
to have to come with a really good strategy, then Anthony.
But I was laughing, and I said, Joe, it's just going to be a tie. But anyway, I said, so that's what I got to do to get one of the independent Joe Glenn's. All right. I'm okay. But
all this ECBP talk, I'm comparing B and A batch from this year.
Well, I'm getting ready to get that C. That he sent me that A122, and I have never had it. Now I've got some in this class. This is C. And like I said, when I hit that, I'm like, oh my gosh, Nirvana, this was wonderful. This was like, oh, this is like deliciousness. And I was like, oh, this is my jam right here. This is my jam. This was like phenomenal. I'm not knowing and pulled that one out of my ass because I'm looking around. And the only reason why I did was because he planted the Elijah Craig in my head, small batch. And he probably wanted to.
I know it was a mistake, man. You know, I like Elijah Craig so much. Like, there's a small batch even that it's perfect. That was the first thing that popped in my mind. I didn't even realize that you were in the middle of drinking an ECVP, and I'm like, I should have picked a different bottle. I know I planted that in your brain.
That's true. There may have been some help in this blind tonight, but either way, though. No, I mean, I think even before you said that, though, he already was thinking. He was already thinking larceny barrel proof even before you said that. So he was already on the. He was already on the Heaven Hill Trail. So he might have got there anyway.
Yeah. Joe says he eats ears for breakfast. He's talking about pig ears, people. I just want you to know that.
Hey, speaking of Iron Mike, anybody watching the Hulu series?
No.
Mike? No. I'm a big boxing fan, so
Stacy.
Now this Elijah Craig is like heaven to me.
And cheers to you again, Stacy. Yeah, I know House of Dragons. A lot of things going on tonight.
Oh, I need to watch House of the Dragons tonight. I'll watch it tomorrow. House of the Dragons is good. Do either of you guys watch it?
No, that's HBO Max or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have like 5 streaming services, and that isn't one of them. So
okay, it's a Game of Thrones thing. I loved Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I'm telling you, Hanging, I pulled that all out of my ass. I swear, it was all out of my ass.
He says that, but realistically, he knew what these. I mean, he didn't know for me. He knew it in his brain. He smelt it, and immediately he's like, "Clearly, that's."
Well, I drink these things all the time, but you know what? I just got lucky. I'm telling you, I didn't know none of this shit.
I guess we'll find out on Independent Joe's.
I'll flop on that. I'll flop on that like no business. But that's how it goes. You just happen to send me things that I can relate to on purpose. I know Joe will send me stuff now that I've never had and wouldn't guess in a million years, just so he can be the winner.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sidetracking, but what's this? Mike got ripped off from Hulu, so I'm passing. Tell me more about this, AZ.
But
did they jip Mike out of his money for this series?
Or he'll just sue him. But
I mean,
hopefully, I mean, really, I hope that's true and I hope Mike takes all their money because Hulu is one of the few pay services there's still freaking ads on.
Oh my God, that is the most I'll start a show on Hulu and I'll stop in the middle of season 1 because I can't stand watching 3 ads in a 20-minute episode. Like, why do I have to do that?
Yeah, I'm paying for the service already, people. What do you want from me?
Right. So, Sean, you're doing A122 and B522. Which one do you like better?
No, yeah, that's the right thing. I know I'm mixing up numbers. They're actually more similar than I thought they were in my head.
Yeah, I could see. It's not like C921, which was like completely just dark and delicious, but
yeah,
I also have them poured now. Since you said that, I decided to pour B522.
Yeah, so like the A batch of last year, to me in my mind, was more like Coca-Cola and chocolate notes. And then B batch was more fruit forward, and then C was just like barrel spices, lots of dark, cinnamon notes and pepper. But these are more similar than last year's. There is, I think it's the junkie's fault, but there is kind of that magic marker note on the nose of A batch.
Of A? I noticed A has just a lot more proof on it than B does. Like A just seems very proofy compared to these in the blind. A was like it was still proofy, but it was really nice. But compared to the same thing,
which is funny because they're actually within 0.2% of one another, and actually B batch is higher, but A drinks hotter. Yeah,
A is 120.8, where B is 121 even. So
I'm just telling you, this A122 is deliciousness. I gotta get a bottle. I just gotta.
That's what I was telling Hanging AZ earlier because he's kind of on the fence about buying one. Even a bad ECBP is still excellent whiskey. I mean, let's be fair.
You know what?
It's just bad compared to the other Elijah.
Pull out that purse, the one that has the little the thing that you push and it pushes the 2 ends apart. Reach in that purse and pull out them dead presidents and buy yourself an Elijah Craig A122 B522. You cheap ass. Get over there and get one of those. Quit buying Long Branch.
Yeah, Hanging AZ in his Long Branch. Hanging AZ goes to bed at night and he has like bottles of Long Branch
under his pillow. Yeah.
I had 2 bottles of Long Branch open at one time until I killed one on Livewire about a month back. So
I did tell Hanging AZ if they come out with something north of 100 in Long Branch, as much as it pained me, I said I will drink it if he sends it to me.
So Anthony, have you ever had Brothers Bond?
No, because I see it sitting there.
It's only okay. So it's a huge thing. I mean, everyone who watches me, they know I love Brothers Bond. It's only 80 proof, and it's $40. But like, it's a very good beginner whiskey. It's very light and sweet, and whatever. But they came out with their cask strength recently, which, yes, you can see. I was sipping on earlier tonight. It's just, if I would have had this bottle when I sent you the whiskeys, I would have sent like just an ounce of this on the side of the flight just for you to taste. I just like it's I feel like some people just disregard it because it's a celebrity whiskey and it's endorsed or whatever. But these guys like blend it all themselves, and they go to, I can't remember who it was, but they were blending with a master distiller, and the master distiller told them that their palates were just as good as a master distiller's palate, and gave them the title, not the official title, but like in his mind, like the ability to call themselves master distiller, because he said that this whiskey is fantastic. And even Fred Minnick, who everyone should probably know in the whiskey world, he didn't review, but posted on his Instagram of the Brothers Bond cask strength and said that it was just like phenomenal MGP whiskey. So,
sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm just laughing.
Oh, no, you're good.
It's Sugar Kitty's thing. I about spit this Elijah Craig.
Now, what's the proof point on it, Holden?
The proof point is 115.8.
Okay,
so a lower barrel proof, almost closer to a rare breed barrel proof, but it's a 4-grain. So it has like a lot of like that like wheat note in it, but also has a lot of like the typical bourbon notes as well.
Now, is their typical release the 80 proofer? Is that also 4-grain?
So it's same ash bill, same age statement, both 4-year whiskeys. So not aged super long, but their cask strength, I mean, has way more to offer than, I'd say if you're trying to get someone into whiskey, their mainstay 80 proof, it's worth it. Yes. I like drinking it on like a really hot day when I don't want to think about whiskey because I just like it. It's nice and sweet. But there's not much going on at all. This whiskey, the cask strength, has like a lot of those familiar, if you're a Brown-Forman fan, Old Forester, like 1920 or like barrel proof picks, or like Woodford batch proof, very similar notes to those type of whiskeys, which is what they actually based the flavor profile on, is a Brown-Forman profile. So I like it a lot. If you ever, they sell it on Reserve Bar. I've only seen it in stores once in Chicago, but it's good whiskey. I'll send it. If you guys want to try it, I'll send it to you. Like, I have 2 bottles. I'm not afraid to send you guys.
Because I don't get that here. I don't see the cask strength.
Well, I mean, I'm cool with doing a sample exchange. That's doing. I will say though, I have had the standard 80 proofer, and I was not a fan. So I'm not going to get into all the whys.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely
no taste to 80 proof shit.
That's not the problem. That's not the problem. I'm not gonna.
It is, because
is it the banana? Do you not like the banana?
All right. If you're asking, I think it tastes like sawdust.
There you go. Say it. That's what people want to know. Oh, let me just interject. Make sure you give Joe my cell number, Sean.
I mean, so I hate to. So me and Charles from With Whiskey, we did a blind of the worst stuff that we've bought, and he sent me some Brothers Bond, and it finished last out of the worst things that we own.
Oh my god, that's so embarrassing for me.
So
that's embarrassing.
But I mean, clearly, that's the thing. Everybody's different. You know, like we were talking about the Dickel thing earlier.
And to be fair, like the reason.
It didn't finish last for Charles, just by the way. It finished like second out of the 5 that we each were doing. Anyway,
the reason I place this so highly isn't really as much because I think it's that great. It's more of, in terms of beginner whiskey, no matter what I give someone who's never drank whiskey before, I'm talking to my fiance, I'm talking to my friends who don't drink whiskey, everything seems just so too much for them. I give them the Brothers Bond, and they just like, they can finally just like accept the fact that it's not that spicy. It's not hurting them. It's not foul in their mouth. Like it's just light and sweet, and it's not too proofy. And especially on like a humid Wisconsin summer day, I mean, it's literally 95 degrees with 90% humidity. This can hit the spot. But I'm gonna look for the sawdust note, so you guys can just keep going. I'm gonna search for the sawdust in here.
I'm pretty sure Anthony's laughing at AZ.
I am, because he's trying to kill me. I'm just laughing because I think it's so funny, because I know he'd do it, and he'd send it to me and make me drink some every damn stream he's on.
So now, to my recollection, Holden, I think the sawdust note is primarily on the finish.
And I'm thinking about doing it just to make him pay to send it to me.
I remember.
Oh, Lord. Sorry, guys, but that just cracked me up.
You're good, man. Yeah, but so I brought this out earlier when we were talking about Dickel, but it applies to the same kind of conversation. A lot of people like the Calumets. I don't like them at all. So like there's whatever the nasty funk is on the finish, don't like it.
Shit!
It is off-putting to me.
Which one is that?
This is the 15.
Really, I love the 15.
See, there you
I
go.
haven't even cracked my 15. Oh shit! I gotta wipe the tears out of my eyes. Freaking
The 15 has so much like medicinal cherry on it. Like
so
Lauren, my fiance poured this in a blind for me during a game, and I never normally can get the bottle guesses. I mean, I have so many bottles that it's just like, you know, picking one out, it's just hard. She poured this for me, and I recognize the cherry so much that like on the first nosing round of my games or whatever, I'm like, if that's not Calumet 15, like I don't know what's in my collection because it has so much cherry on it that I can't like. I've never had something with so much cherry on it. But I like cherries a lot, and I like.
Anthony is going to die in his chair. I just want to point that out. But
I'm just laughing because I know Hank and AZ will do it. He'll do it, and I'm just laughing my ass off. And then
no, I mean, go ahead, Anthony.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Sugar Kitties because I'll need it. His response is like,
"Where's the EMT team? we might lose Anthony tonight. Somebody call somebody." But so Holden, here's the thing: is like I agree with like I like the front palate, I like the mid palate on the Cal 15, and then we get to that finish, and it's like the very end of the finish. It's like that last note that you get. There's like this. I was talking about it with the fancies the other night. It's like this weird, funky, like eucalyptus note. That's how they described it, which I would say is kind of accurate. It's like this earthy, muddy plant. I don't know. It's just I'm not.
Right.
Not digging it. Like the rest of it's cool though. Like if it weren't for that funk on the back end, I would love it. Because everything's nice and then you're left with whatever that is. I don't
Oh shit.
I'd say on the Brothers Bond, I see what you mean by the sawdust. I think I incorporate that more with like the 4-grain, the wheat that's in the mash bill. But I can see where you get sawdust out of it. The only thing is I like sawdust. I'm like that. Sawdust.
That's not a term I thought I'd hear anyone say. I like sawdust.
Well, I used to be in cabinet making when I was in high school, and so I smell that like sawdust, and I get that like fresh sawdust note, and it just like brings me back to when I was in high school making. I actually made this like really cool American flag table. It was my first review ever that I ever did. It's a coffee table. It's an American flag, but I made it from hand, and it just like brings me back to that. So maybe it's just something that I enjoy and you don't. And I mean, that's okay. It's not like everyone has to enjoy the same thing either.
Actually, so I'm a carpenter by trade. A lot of folks know that, but
maybe you're just sick of it.
Well, no, like I love the smell of sawdust. I don't enjoy the taste of sawdust. So like the smell of sawdust, I mean, fresh cut wood, that's like one of my favorite smells. That's why I'm a carpenter. But I don't. It's so the way I think if we're gonna get into it, the way I believe I described it on that stream was it's like because this is a very specific smell. But if you've been on a construction site, you've smelled it a few times. So what happens is a pile of sawdust accumulates because the guy's cutting in the same spot all day, and then it rains on it and it gets wet.
Oh,
and then it sits out in the sun and it like starts to like almost like ferment or something. So it's like this wet, funky sawdust, and that's
like
kind of
moldy.
what. Yeah, that's kind of the note I got on the back end of on Brother's Spawn.
Yeah, I think I honestly, how many 4 grains have you had?
Cheers, Nick.
Not a ton, honestly.
I think that's I'm not common. No, I think if you would have had this Grizzly Beast, you probably would have had a similar. No, I think that sourness that comes through on the Grizzly Beast might have off-put you a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, like outside of Maker's finished stuff, I don't really care for Weeders a whole lot. The Weller line doesn't do a whole lot for me. Like standard Makers, I don't really like. Like really, I don't really get interested in Makers until they get to 46, and that's in the old 46, not the new one. Because AZ is pointing that out. The new bottle of 46 just sucks. I don't know what they did, but something's wrong.
Oh,
something's
I haven't
terribly.
had the new bottle. I've had the old bottle, and I like the old bottle.
Yeah, the old one's good. Find all the old sexy bottles. Don't buy the new square, fat, stubby one. Yeah, it sucks. There's like this bitter note on the back end that's, well, AZ can tell you all about it. He wants to like throw his bottle into the sea or something. But on the Elijah Craigs, I think I like the B batch slightly better than the A batch this year. I don't think they're as much different as last year. But I think they're both good. They're both good bottles. I wouldn't like not buy the A.
I think the B has a little bit more of a peanutty note on it than the A. I love like a good like not sour peanuts, but like a peanut butter, like a Butterfinger, or like a peanut brittle.
Well, but that said, just for fun, I was like, okay, since I like the B batch best potentially for this year, how does it compare to the B batch of last year? And I think the B batch of last year is better. So, what can you do?
Yeah. Anthony, you said you have the Calumet 15 unopened in the back of your shelf?
Yes.
Are you drinking some Calumet 15 right now?
I did pour some. You had mentioned that you got a funky note in the back end of it.
Yeah, I'll pour a little bit. I'll pour a little bit with you here. Let's talk about it.
Now I'm trying to think of where it is, but it's here.
Is there a reason you didn't open it, Anthony?
Just haven't gotten around to it, and now that you guys are drinking it,
do you like that medicinal cherry note?
I don't. I mean, but I don't consider this medicinal. Like when I think of medicinal cherry, I think standard Makers. I get like a lot of medicinal cherry on that.
Okay.
Because this to me is too dark of a note to be medicinal, but like I said, I like the front of the palate. I like the mid palate. It's just that like the last bit of the finish. Also, good night, Sugar Kitty.
Sugar Kitty, good night.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I say medicinal because not necessarily because it tastes like a Luden's cough drop, but more of the fact that there's so much cherry. I mean, like,
yeah, I got you.
There's almost different kinds of cherries in the way it smells, particularly like the dark cherries that you would get. I know in Wisconsin here, we always go up to, if this is Wisconsin, this is like the peninsula or whatever. It's called Door County, and they have cherries there that are really like fresh and sweet and nice. And this kind of reminds me of that like Door County cherry pie that they have.
Well, so also when you said medicinal, you equated it to Luden's. I always think of cherry NyQuil as medicinal.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's a different story on the medicinal line.
Yeah,
NyQuil. Yeah, that's
So
right.
if we're talking Luden's cough drop, then I would say it's much closer to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even especially on the nose.
I'm trying to think of what I'm going to pour. I've got the 15 sitting here, and I'm like,
Let's crack it, Anthony. Come on, join the party.
Damn it!
I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink some stuff I don't even want to drink.
Full send, Anthony. We're gonna peer pressure.
I'm opening it. I'm opening the 15.
I mean, you'll probably, honestly, Anthony, you'll probably like it. Like I'm in the minority. I'm pretty sure. So,
you
are.
Like it a lot.
Like I said, I like the nose.
I'll give it the Golden Glen too.
There you go, the whiskey nose.
That's right.
Now you're gonna love it.
That's when you know you're balling right there.
Oh, listen to that pop.
Yeah, exactly, AZ. So it's like cherry halls with all the great dark notes that you love in bourbon. Oh, that's all that's going on. And then it's the very end, there's like this eucalyptus earthy
I was
note.
just going to say, he had to say that.
Nick, it's Calumet 15. Calumet 15 year, which doesn't show up very well on my ring light over here.
Okay, so you know when so you swallow your whiskey and there's like still like some like hanging around, so you swallow again. It's that second it's the second swallow. That's when you get the earthy eucalyptus thing.
Okay.
So maybe if I can like avoid doing that, then I would enjoy this whiskey. Cuz it's like it's good. It's good all the way up to that point. It's like, okay, this is great. Uh-oh, what happened?
I mean, I can see it a little bit. I think I like what's going on in the main palate and the nose too much to take points away on like the second finish of it. I think the overwhelming like oakiness, that sweet oak and cherry that comes through is just like, that's like center of the road for me. I think cherries are like one of my favorite notes in bourbon, along with like a nice oak.
So let me say this. Wilderness Trail, their standard bourbon. That was the first review I did on YouTube, and I drank the shit out of that bottle, but something made me push it to the back of the pile. So long and short of that is I went back to it after like 7-8 months, and wow, did it have one of the hugest cherry notes, like maraschino cherry notes I've ever tasted. As that thing just sat there in that bottle and opened up for months. It was phenomenal. I finished it a while ago. Now I have the backup bottle up there and I just haven't cracked it. But wow, was that a phenomenal drink.
That's actually one I've never had either. It was a Wilderness Trail.
Oh, don't hesitate. For under $50, the regular bottled and bond, I think it's very good. Like I said, I've got it sitting there. I just haven't cracked it.
And Holden, just so you know, there's two different bottle and bonds. There's a wheated mash bill, and then there's a rye mash bill. The rye mash bill is the black label with gold letters, and then the wheated is the reverse. It's gold label with black letters.
That's what I have.
Or yellow, gold, yellow, whatever.
Yellow, gold. Yeah.
I've definitely heard a lot of good things about Wilderness Trail. I spent $400 on whiskey last week. I got Little Book Chapter 6, Woodford Batch Proof, 118.4 proof, the Yellowstone 2022 pick, and then a Jepson's barrel pick. So I've spent so much money on whiskey in the last week.
Yes.
It's just like...
It happens, man.
it does, but, I enjoy them all. I think they're fantastic.
Fantastic.
So, we've all had those moments where we splurge and spend way too much at one time. The hard part's always getting it through the door without the wife, girlfriend finding out how much you spent, because she's always like, what'd you get? And then there's like 12 bottles. And as soon as you show her, then the next question immediately, like before you even like finish describing what the bottles are you got, it's immediately, how much did you spend?
Exactly. Yeah. But the nice thing is she's so into everything that I do and stuff that she's going to see when I put a review up, she's going to know how much I spent on it. She watches all my stuff. And
no, I don't lie. It's just, I try to avoid the
for sure. You're just like, well,
I spent some.
I had to buy it. It's limited release. You don't understand. I had to buy it.
Yeah.
You had to buy
if I don't buy it now, I'm not going to see it. So, what can you do?
That's
also, there was a sale. There was a sale.
There's a lot of them that if you don't buy, you'll probably never taste for the rest of your life unless someone sends you a sample, which is a hard truth, but you have to kind of pick and choose what you get.
Yeah, I mean,
so that means that Hanging AZ is going to be buying me a bottle of Long Branch bottled in bond. So,
oh yeah,
I'll review that once he buys it and sends it to me.
I doubt that's a thing that's ever going to happen, given the unpopularity of Long Branch just in the community.
Hanging AZ, why don't you give Matthew McConaughey a call back and just tell him not to waste his time with the bib and just come out with the cast strength already. We don't care about that bottle.
Honestly, that thing would be a freaking hitter, and you know it, Anthony.
Honestly, I think
it probably would be. At 83 proof, it sucks.
Yeah. I didn't put Long Branch.
86 proof, Anthony. Give it some respect.
I was close. I was only 3 off.
I did a live stream on Celebrity Whiskey, and I actually put Long Branch like third or second. Like, it wasn't that bad.
No,
in my opinion. I know Anthony is just like completely turned off on it.
What?
But I just.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what's funny is like Anthony loves peated scotch, so I would have thought that he would have liked a little smokiness in his bourbon, but he just like hates it. He's like F this whiskey. This is stupid.
It's shit. There's no smokiness to Long Branch.
I mean, there's more than your typical 80 to 90 proofer.
There's nothing to it. It's crap.
We've got him started now.
If you ever get a chance and you see this on the shelf, I really think, I know there's a lot of people that say a lot of bad things about it, but Little Book, Chapter 6, so it's young, okay? It's got, it's four-year whiskey, or four-year malt whiskeys, I know I said this earlier, and 1 5-year bourbon. But it's finished in cherrywood staves, one of them is. Another one is finished in applewood smoked barrels. Another one is finished in a hickory smoked barrel. And another one is finished with maplewood staves. And then it's all blended together with another 5-year bourbon. So it's young whiskey for that really expensive price tag. But honestly, it has some like really intricate notes. And it tastes a lot like a nice Highland Scotch, but with a light smoky flavor. Not quite peat smoke, but like a light, almost like you're sitting like by a campfire, but you're not, it's not over smoky. It's just subtle, very subtle smoke. It's really good. I think you would like it a lot if you see it. It's one definitely to put on the search list.
Yes, it was me, Commandant Lou. Long Branch is shit. I don't like it. But as soon as they come out with a cast strength, Hanging AZ is buying me a bottle. He's going to send it to me, and I have to drink it and review it.
You know, Commandante, like that's Anthony's one character flaw. I love him in spite of it. You know, it's okay. I just try and ignore the fact that he hates Long Branch.
I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Jack.
Oh, is that the 8?
No.
Little pack 8?
Pack 6. I gotta say, Holden.
Wait a minute. There's something more to it.
Oh, we're opening it up.
What is a pack 6?
Unopened. And I've had it for 2 years. Boom.
So how much do I have to pay you to get that bottle?
Yeah, that's my next question as well.
I've been offered $300 for it. I'm like, no.
So what is that pack 6 anyway? What is the thing behind pack 6?
I can't remember now. I can't remember now.
You can't read the really intricate, annoyingly hard to read cursive that's on the front of the bottle?
It is extremely small, and after 6 pours, no, I cannot.
Yeah. You need like excellent lighting, be perfectly sober, and
let me bring that down here. Here we go.
I don't think I could read it if I was sober.
That's not going to happen. Yeah, no.
It's very small.
Anthony's breaking stuff.
Yeah, I am, but it's okay. But yeah, no, I can't. That's not going to happen. Yeah, we're all good. But yeah, it's too small of a writing for me to. There we go. That's my little light so I can read. I pull it down and go, what does that say? Or I hold it up. But yeah.
So Very nice, Anthony. That's
I will be opening it up soon.
Yeah.
Well,
particularly this coming weekend.
Hey, all right.
Because there's whiskey weekend here in Vegas.
Yes, sir.
So
Lil and Chris are going to get a little bit of that there.
What's that?
So Lil and Chris are getting a little bit of that there then?
Yeah, I told him it would be there.
Very cool.
So at Whiskey Weekend will be there. If Nick wants to try it, he can try it because I know him and the Crazy Rican will be there.
Just don't let her hear you say that. I mean, she is admitted to keeping a knife on her at all times. So,
oh, I know she does, but I carry something that goes by G23. I don't want him that close to me.
Distance is a friend.
Hey, Holden, I gotta say, of the things you mentioned, what I'm most excited about from your buys is the Woodford Batch Proof. Have you cracked it yet?
So good. I didn't review it on the channel, but I did go through my book, and I have like a tasting book where I do all my reviews before I review it. That way I have some like good notes. And
yeah.
A lot of deep like molasses, brown sugar, really dark sweet notes. Banana. It actually has some of that brown form banana in it. So it's subtle, but it's there. And then tasting notes, I had a lot of like boozy syrup. If you like maple syrupy whiskeys, a very like boozy maple syrup, a little bit of red licorice, and then a slight maltiness in it as well. But it honestly, the Woodford Batch Proof of this year, the 118.4 proof, is like really, really, really nice. So if you get a chance.
I'm hoping to find it at a reason. The cheapest I've seen it so far is $300, which is just way too much. So
I paid $130. I went down to Chicago, and there's a Binny's in Chicago. It's like the biggest. It's right next to Goose Island. If you guys know, obviously Goose Island makes the beers that are finished in the barrel, whiskey barrels. Right next to Goose Island Brew House is the largest Binny's in Chicago, and they have an entire case. They have. Actually, it's a wall, and it has like 4 cases of really rare tequila, cognac, bourbon, rye, and scotches. Just all the super rare, expensive stuff. Some of them are like $2,000 a bottle, but other ones are. They had Woodford Batch Proof in there for MSRP at $130. So I picked it up, and I was so excited.
Yeah, I need to do some driving around and see if I can't find one.
Yeah. And maybe when we do a bottle or a sample share, I can send you a sample of that because it's good.
I can send you a half a bottle of Calumet 15.
Hey, Nick, I sent you a text. Sorry, go ahead.
Breadsticks. Are you sending out breadsticks? I didn't get any.
They're going to be here. They're going to be here this weekend, so I'm going to be with them.
I'm just going to throw this out there in the ether. Let's just suppose that someone watching this stream were to find a Woodford Batch Proof, at a good price. What would happen if somehow money ended up in your account some way, and then somehow it ended up at my house accidentally? If that were to occur,
I don't know how that would happen.
If you would have told me last week, I could have got you a bottle. They had like 3 bottles left at Binny's in Chicago. I'm sorry. If you would have told me,
that's okay. I'm just throwing it out there to anybody that might be able to happen to. I'm just saying, So if somehow that were to happen, it'd be a terrible accident. But
one of these days, I'm just gonna start buying in bulk. Like when I see an allocated bottle, if I'm allowed, because a lot of them are limit 1 per customer. But if I'm allowed, I'll start buying 2 bottles and I'll pawn it off to like all you guys who I'm friends with on the whiskey tube. Like I know a lot of you guys are wanting these allocated bottles and you can't quite get them.
No, Wisconsin, not us.
Yeah, no. Wisconsin has some decent distribution, not the best, but decent. So like I'll never see a Weller in my entire life, but I do get ECBPs sooner than most people. So.
Yeah, because you posted B522 review here recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I was the second or third person to post B522. I think between A122 and B522, both of those, I was like the first, second, or third person to post. And the people who posted before me are the people who get it from Heaven Hill. So like Bourbon Bites, Cliffy, he gets like the samples, and so do It's Bourbon Night. They get like the 5-ounce sample bottle.
And Minnick always gets them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I had found bottles before most people on WhiskeyTube, or maybe I didn't, but I got the bottles and I put out a review that week because I knew that it's a hot topic. And those videos usually do well for me, so I try to get them out as fast as I can.
Yeah, even though I live in Kentucky, I usually end up getting them late, so I just never even do the review because it's like 2 months later, and it's like, okay, there's 8 out. Like
everyone and their mom has a review on it. And
yeah.
I'm making Hanging Happy.
There we go. Got the names up.
Holden.
Yep. What's going on?
I don't want you to go without ever seeing them, but this is what they look like. It's nothing spectacular.
The green one should be thrown in the trash. The blue one is acceptable.
You know what? You know what's funny? When I went to Chicago this past week, I did see them. I saw them in person. That green $20 bottle, they wanted $80 for.
I got the Fat Boy.
Yeah, the black label 12-year, that $80 bottle, they wanted $300 for. As if I was going to sell $300.
This one here, the foolproof.
Yeah,
it's $800 out here.
Oh my god,
that's
insane.
I certainly didn't pay that.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Justin's Bourbon Bar, but or Justin's House of Bourbon. I'm sorry, but Justin's House of Bourbon is where people go to get allocated stuff because they always have it. The problem is it's marked up ridiculously.
Donkulous is more like.
They had a Weller foolproof pick for $1,300.
Oh my god!
No joke.
And there's an
I was like, what in the hell is happening right now?
My boss got a Weller foolproof pick from his friend for $60. Like his friend said, "Hey, I have this Weller foolproof pick. I know you like Buffalo Trace because my boss is kind of one of those guys. He's not into whiskey the way we are, but he knows that Buffalo Trace is like the best of like what whiskey has to offer. So his friend offered him a Weller foolproof for retail, or I don't know if it's retail, but $60. And so he has a foolproof store pick, $60. And I'm just like, if you ever feel like sharing, I'm kind of into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually below MSRP. I think his buddy did him a favor.
Hey, John,
I think
cheers.
Yeah, cheers, John. How we doing, man? I feel like SRP on Weller Foolproof is something like 70 or 80 around.
Oh yeah, I would believe. I mean, Elijah Craig's I think a good price for those nice heavy hitting cast strength are that 80, 70 or $80 price tags. Elijah Craig's right around there. Larceny Barrel Proof can be around there too. I think it's a good, decent price if you're getting a full-bodied, if you know it's going to be good whiskey. I've never seen a Stag in real life. A Stag Junior, sorry. Sorry. It's Stag now. It used to be straight Stag Junior. I've never seen one in real life, but at that $80, I would buy one.
So the last time I saw one was 3.5 years ago. I remember where it was sitting, all those things. And it was $150, and I was like, that's more than I want to pay for that, because it was still, way over MSRP. That would be a deal these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it was batch 14 or 15, whatever was out then. And now I kind of wish it would have bought it, because that's probably the only chance I would have ever had to get a Stag. Now I just never see them. They just don't exist. No, yeah.
Most people are like, where were you sitting when the Twin Towers fell? And for everyone else, you're just like, where were you sitting when you saw your first Stag Junior? Oh, well, okay. Yeah, it's important to us in the whiskey too. It's a very significant event seeing a bottle like that in the wild.
For sure.
But I will say this. Not bad on the neck pour.
Yeah, if you keep talking while you're drinking it and you don't let that nasty finish like linger, then it's fine. Like it's really good if you just like talk through it.
I don't know about a nasty finish, but
I'm honestly like every time I drink this, I've had it for a while. As you can see, I'm not very far down in it. I don't drink it very often because I think of my bottles, it's very approachable. For the age statement, I think if I was offering someone who's not normally into whiskey, but they're on the fence of like they know what's good, this is like it's so easy to identify some of those big bourbon notes, those cherry, that oak, that sweet oak.
Definitely cherry and oak on this Calumet 15. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's really like, I mean, it's not overly complex, but like those notes shine through, and it makes for a really easy, like high age stated bourbon pour. It just like,
well, at 105 proof, it's not bad, and actually it's a little hot, but I think it's good so far. And once I get another glass out of it and let it open up, I think it's going to be a decent pour.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'll be right
most
back.
people like it, and I like everything but the finish. To be fair, so like it's cool.
Yeah. To be fair. Yeah. No, I think it's fantastic. It was one of those bottles, I paid a lot of money for. I had a certain expectation, and it's one of the ones that actually lived up to how much I paid for it. So it did really well.
I guess what my issue is that it being 130, between 130 140, that's kind of what it is around here, and then not being cask strength kind of hurts it for me. As Anthony was pointing out earlier, I'm also a proofy bitch. So, and since these guys are pretty readily available in the $70 to $80 range around here, like paying almost double for less proof, and actually, I think this is a better experience most of the time.
Right.
It's hard for me to like recommend it because of all those things.
That's funny. I can't remember who said it earlier, but they call it proofstitute. A proofstitute. I think it was
go. Yeah.
Maybe. But on your point, hold on. This bottle right here. This is a 2022 limited release of Yellowstone. It's only.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's 101 proof. So it's very low proof, but it's at that $115 price point. So it's, it's like, it's non-age stated. So it doesn't tell me how old it is, but what I do know is it's finished in Marsala Superiore casks, which is, I believe, a red wine. So I bought it mainly because I know that people are going to be looking for a review of Yellowstone's limited release for this year, but it's at that same kind of thing as this Calumet 15. I know you said it's 130 by you, but for me, I got it from Total Wine. It was at like $110 or like $105.
Oh wow, that's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah. So like for the 15-year-old age statement, I'm like, that's a good deal. I'll buy it. It was a lot harder for me to pull the trigger on this Yellowstone than it was for me to pull the trigger on the Calumet. I haven't had a chance to sit down and really like review this Yellowstone. I've had like a half of a sip one time just to see if it was like good, and it seems like it'll be okay. But I haven't had a chance to really sit down and review it. So when I get to that point, you guys will probably see a review come out for it. But I think comparatively, I would buy the Calumet 15 over the Yellowstone limited release for this year.
Right now, I'm trying to figure out what world Anthony's living in that he got it for $89.
That's what I paid for. That's what I paid for it.
I mean, legitimately, the cheapest price I can get at, even now, a year later, is $130. So getting it for $89.
I think MSRP is like $115. I think that's what they said from the distillery that it's supposed to be $115. I thought
Not in Arizona, though.
I thought I was getting a good deal at $110, and Anthony's over here like, yeah, it was $90. I picked it up.
Wait, no, you're Nevada. You're Nevada. You're not Arizona.
I'm just telling you. It's what I paid for it. And it just went up to 139.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
so
I don't know if
I guess it's like if you live in hell, we have to give you a discount on bourbon. So,
and I'm for it. I took advantage of it.
no, I mean, because AZ's always telling me the same thing. Like, he gets ridiculous prices on stuff all the time. So, there's some compensation for living in a desert. So,
that's true. That's true.
No, if there was, John, I'd have bought the case, but no, they've jacked the price up immensely, like $50. It's not worth it because the 16 is $10 more.
So I was pouring this for somebody else, and just thought, why not? Blackened cast strength store pick, not bad. I mean, it's MGP, but it's cool.
You say that was a store pick?
Yeah.
I didn't know they made store picks for that.
Yeah, so this is a Kroger store pick, Kroger Wine and Spirits store pick, cast strength, limited release. So that's
the one they finish, or they don't finish, but they blare rock music at the barrel.
They pound Metallica tunes into the barrels.
Right. Yes. And so that it kind of, the vibrations mingle with whatever.
It is finished. It's finished in black brandy casks.
Okay. Is it worth? I mean, they kind of command a higher price point for that allocation. No. It's not worth it.
Talk to Whiskey Knows.
Well, I mean, so this is MGP. I mean, like most things are. Yeah. I paid $70 for it, which for a cast strength is, whatever. That's what most MGP cast strength stuff goes for these days. And I think of all the MGP cast strength stuff I have, it's kind of middle of the road. There's some that's better. There's some that's worse. But I'm also a huge Metallica fan, so there is that.
Okay, yeah.
But that aside,
huge Vampire Diaries fan.
Okay, fair enough.
There's always a buyer.
That aside, I would say it's similar to like the Remus store picks. Like I got one back there, and that's basically the same price and the same thing.
Speaking of Remus, have either of you two had the Remus Reserve for PO5?
Yes.
You have?
I got 3 right there.
It's up there somewhere.
What did you think? Honestly, I've heard many good things about it. I have a bottle. It's been a while since I've had it, but when I first had it, and when I've drank it the few times I drank it,
I will trade you right now, Holden.
It wasn't my favorite.
It's okay. It's not. I know people that think it's like one of the best.
The bees. Everyone thinks it's the bee's knees, and I was like, maybe I had expectations that were.
I got a half a bottle of Calumet 15 with your name on it. I will send it right now, plus some other stuff. Like
you really like the Remus that
He's
much,
got some long branch he'll send you too.
I mean, like, okay, so I'll send you all the long branch you want. I'm halfway down through this Remus 3. I freaking love it.
Jack, I don't.
It is the best 100 proof ish MGP stuff I've ever had. Like to me, there's nothing else that's even close from MGP.
Have you had the Remus 5 though?
I have not, to be fair.
Maybe when we do a bottle exchange, I'll send you a Remus 5. It's just I don't know what it is about it. It's just like, don't get me wrong, it was good whiskey. I mean, it has the age. It has those notes, those leathery tobacco notes. It's just the way people talked about it, and maybe there's always a stigma around certain bottles. And I had seen it. I'd seen so many reviews on it saying how good it was. So I was expecting a lot out of it. It didn't quite perform to where I wanted it to be. Maybe that's what it was. I think that it could have been better for how. And the thing is, I actually got it under retail. I think I got it for like $70. Like that was good. I think for retail. I don't know what retail is.
That's excellent.
Yeah, I mean,
and you know what? I think it's good, but I've had a pour out of it. I haven't opened my bottle, and I was like, you know what? It's good.
Wait, you have a whole bottle Anthony, good Lord, I swear to
Unopened.
God, he's just like Anthony just has like hitters unopened behind him. They're just like
all my
just
bookers,
like, I'll get to it.
someday I'll drink the good stuff, whenever I get around to it.
My Weller's is unopened. I have
To be
this
fair,
I've had this Calumet for months. For months, didn't open it until you guys forced me.
You've opened it. You've drank it. What is your opinion? I mean, I know you said that it has the open cherry.
And let me just say, it's okay.
To be fair, you got it for $90.
I'm gonna have to have a hefty pour to get it to the shoulder, so it can sit. And I'll bring it with me to Whiskey Weekend on Friday.
There you go. That'll help
when I meet up, and then I'm gonna bring a couple more other bottles. But I think it's okay right now because I got the cherry note. I'm still getting the cherry note on it. It kind of lingers, but
that might be the one thing that it loses points on is the fact that it is a bit simple for the price tag. I mean, I get the cherry.
For $89, I'm not going to complain. For $139, for $139
if you can get it for $90 less than SRP, then it's a pretty good pour.
Well, I'd be bitching to high heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, it definitely has some other notes in it. I mean, it's got some caramel and it's typical bourbon notes as well, but like nothing jumps out as much as that cherry and oak. So it's just like it's hard to look past those really potent notes.
Holden, if you're comfortable with it, here is my number in private, and my email is accessible to anyone, but because it's a lot easier to get a hold of me through text than it is email. I'm just going to throw it out there. I rarely check my email. I check it like twice a week. So, I'm dropping the email as well, though, just in case you want that also.
Yeah, we'll set something up.
By the way, honestly, if Remus is not your thing, I love the 3. I can't imagine hating the 5. I mean, unless it's just totally different. It would have to be really different for me to hate it. And so, I would gladly send you the Cal 15, and maybe we can talk about some other things that I have that maybe you're interested in, and we can do some bottle swaps as well as some sample swaps, and maybe we'll do samples first, and maybe I can send you some more stuff that you'd be interested in, and then we can kind of talk about things. But
yeah, for sure.
I would love to have a Remus 5. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice bottle to have. I'm not gonna lie. I like having the ability to put it in things. It's just that I actually haven't drank it in a long time. Maybe I'll pull it out while we're hanging out. But
certainly try it before maybe you'll end up loving it. But
maybe. By the way, everyone who hasn't liked the video yet, I mean, come on, hit the like button. Obviously, Anthony is doing a great job hosting us. I mean, this is an awesome live stream. We're going on 2 hours. 2.5 hours.
I just actually caught it myself. I just before you said it, I'm like, oh, we've been rolling on along here. But
I mean, it's just a good time. We're having fun, and guys, hit the like button. Come on. What are you doing?
And I opened my Calumet 15. I mean, hey, I'm on.
Anthony opened a special bottle for this occasion. If that doesn't warrant
peer pressure, let's just be honest. Peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
That's what we did. And I will say, honestly, if, as I said, if I'm drinking and talking through the Cal 15, I don't notice that finish, and that helps tremendously because the rest of it's great. The rest of it is fantastic. It's just like that finish, man. That finish.
See, I'm not understanding that, and I just had my last sip of it, and I'm like,
well, me and the Fancies were talking about it Friday night, and they got the same thing after I pointed it out, because unless you're really paying attention to the finish, and I guess I'm just sensitive to it. I don't know. But yeah,
maybe. I mean, everyone has that one thing that they can identify. Anthony with the Dickel, he could really pick out that minerality that I couldn't. Maybe there's something in this Calumet 15 that you get that we just don't. But yeah, I think it's all
cherry.
personal.
I got the cherry.
Well, okay, so here's always a fun thing, since we're kind of talking about that. what are things? I mean, I know one specific thing that Anthony hates. He's made that pretty vocal. But so, what are some other bottles, Anthony, that like you just really do not enjoy going back to, aside from Long Branch? We know about Long Branch. What else is out there that?
Bardstown Discovery 5.
Okay, right. You mentioned that during the blind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bardstown Discovery 5. Let me turn around and say that I don't think, other than those two, there's nothing else I don't enjoy going back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I can honestly say there's two that I will flat out say, particularly Long Branch for one. I just don't like it. But
you don't say.
Everything else I've got is okay. And some of the stuff I've got sitting there, it's just not open. So I can't give you an honest opinion.
Yeah. Now, Holden, what are some that are in that category for you? Like bottles that you just, like you wish you hadn't bought, you really don't enjoy them, you know? What?
Well, honestly, I enjoy a lot of things. While I'm not very picky, there are things that I don't enjoy about whiskeys. Most of the stuff that I buy, I like to drink because even the bad stuff is sometimes just different than the stuff that I normally like drinking. So even though I may not like it, I like the fact that I have it in my arsenal to compare things against. But there's one particular craft whiskey that has a very waxy, like I'm talking like if you think of a waxy walnut or like a waxy nut,
I got you.
This is like 90% wax and 10% nut, but it's a craft distillery. It's a 2-year-old bourbon. It's whatever. That's not my favorite. I think my least favorite bottle that I've bought is actually a Rebel barrel proof, but I think that has more to do with the fact that it took so long for the neck pour for the bottle to open up. I mean, it took like 4 weeks for the bottle to open up to something sweet and nice. For a long time, it had a very astringent, just not nice note to it. Eventually, it opened up to something that I could like, but overall, I've watched enough YouTube to pick out bottles that I know that I'll end up liking. I've literally watched the Bourbon Junkies channel from start to finish twice, which is probably a problem I should see a therapist about. But
probably
I would say
I've watched.
I thought I was a fanboy, but that's okay. Well,
to be fair, I play it under my desk at work, so I'm not really
I got you.
wholeheartedly paying attention as much as I'm working, and it's kind of like I'm listening to them. But like I understand the gist of it. I try to watch a lot of channels, and I watch other things other than bourbon. I watch a lot of fitness and golf and that kind of stuff. But as far as bourbon goes, I tend to buy things that I know I'm going to like. The only things that I buy without knowing if I'm going to like it are the allocated stuff. I mean, I have no idea if this Yellowstone or this Remus when I bought it or the Little Book. I don't know if I'm going to like that stuff. I buy it because I know that people are going to want to see a review on it, and I can do that. I think Remus is probably not the worst, because while I say I don't like Remus, it's better than a lot of the bottles I have on the shelf. It's just my expectations were here, and the bottle only got to here, and it's just
exactly.
Okay, so I guess, and I'm kind of talking you into keeping it here, which is probably against what I'm trying to do, but nonetheless. So I guess what you paid $70 for it, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess compared to other $70 bottles, how does it fare?
Compared to other $70 bottles, and I'm thinking, Elijah Craig's. I love Larceny barrel proofs. So good. This would probably be the last one I pick out of those. However, on certain $70 bottles, maybe I would say. I don't even know. Actually, maybe this is the last one I would pick, but I'm smelling it now. I haven't drank it yet, but it's not as bad as I remembered.
Gotcha.
I think what it was is at the time that I'd bought this, I hadn't had as much whiskey experience. It had a lot of those leathery, very rye forward. It's a very high rye bourbon.
Yes.
Or maybe it's even
it
burr rye. Maybe I mean, not a burr rye. It's
Is there a breakdown on the back?
There is. It's not a burr rye. It's just so high rye that it's
Or somewhere.
insane. It's
on the front.
like,
On the front. Yeah.
Yeah. So the oldest is from 2005. So that's
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
17-year whiskey. The youngest is 2008. So that's 15 or 14-year whiskey, and all of them are around that. Between 3 of them are at 21% rye, and 2 of them are at 36% rye mash bills. So it has a lot of that rye spice to it, which when I first was getting into bourbon, rye isn't the most welcoming.
So that's roughly the same breakdown as the 3, except for everything in yours is aged for the most part longer.
Yeah.
So it's unlikely that I would. It's really unlikely I would dislike that because it's just older aged.
You know, and you would probably when I send you a flight, we can work something out. I will definitely send you this, or at least a couple ounces of this in a flight. Having it now, it's not as bad as I remembered. The one thing I remember, and I still get, is just some part of the mouthfeel. I almost has that like waxiness.
Yeah,
that waxy
and Anthony's holding up something that's better than Remus. That's true too.
It is.
That is such a hitter of a bottle. Oh my god, that bottle is so freaking good. Oh, so good.
Still Austin, cast strength.
Like Anthony, that's a bottle I'm going to need to contact you for to get more of because
really.
Oh yeah, because like I'm nursing this bottle now because I'm more than halfway through it and I can't get more. I've
never had
really.
God, I've never had Still Austin.
Really?
Up until 2 weeks ago. So I did a blind of Sugar Kitty, and he had sent me some Smoke Wagon. A week later, literally the week that I opened those bottles and sampled it on live, a week later, Sugar Kitty had sent me those. A week later, Wisconsin started distributing Smoke Wagon to everyone. But Wisconsin's distribution for like smaller craft distilleries, we don't get any kind of Texas. The only Texas whiskey we get in Wisconsin is Balcones, I think.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Anthony just doesn't appreciate good whiskey, but that's okay. We love him anyway.
Yeah. Also, Independent Joe, I do live streams as well. So
yeah.
I know
and that reminds me. So here's what me and Steven, Tipsy.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do the same thing with you. It's like I hop on your stream, you hop on mine, and we kind of do some flights together. The thing is like you go. I mean, you already know this. We've talked about it before. You go right as I'm driving to church, like literally. So
understandable.
Yeah.
Me and Anthony have the same problem. He has his work schedule got shifted, so we're just gonna work something out. It's gonna be a different time or a different day, whatever works. We can find something that works. It doesn't have to be my typical time. I mean, I'll post on Instagram. People can find out. Me and Anthony have to reschedule.
We could pop back on my stream one Sunday again, but we'll do it earlier. So that way, it would just works out. But I'm just saying.
It's almost 11 o'clock here. I need to wake up for work in 6 hours.
Don't feel you need to hang, brother.
Yeah. Well,
honestly, I'm having too much fun to go to bed. So I know my fiance.
Let me just say.
So Holden, I'm just going to tell you from a person with experience doing it, this becomes an addiction, and you end up getting no sleep in your life.
Yeah. But
it is what it is.
Don't sleep on this.
Oh, it's so freaking good.
Bourbon,
so many good things about Still Austin.
Whether it's the straight bourbon or the cast strength, I have both. They're amazing.
So
drink
good.
it down to down to the neck of the bottle, leave it set for about 7 days, and go back to it. Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal coming out. They're $50 and less for a bottle.
Well, I mean, like again, he's talking desert prices, so those don't really apply. But
Right.
I paid 60 for mine. But
well, I'm just telling you right now, I know I can get that for right around $45.
Wow, that's
good.
That has to be the best $45 bourbon available. Then
right now in Texas, for me, yes, it is. So for $50 price range,
what is better than that for $45? Like I love Rare Breed, but it's not $45 anymore in my area. So I can't think of anything that would be better than that for $45. I can't think of a single bottle. Like there's to me, there would be nothing that's better than that for $45. Like that is such an incredible bottle.
I have quite a few different things in here around that price range, but you know.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Okay, I'm up
never
for
had
suggestions.
it, so
I don't know. Like, I mean, of course, I really love Texas whiskey, and I know I'm in the minority there, but that's still Austin. Yeah. They nail it. Like they just
they did. You guys were right. Charles was right. You were right. This stuff is pretty damn good.
Anthony, you said that you didn't have this Remus Repeal Reserve 5, or you said you have it, but you didn't open it? Is that right?
Correct. I've had a pour of it. You've had a pour.
It's not as bad as I thought. I mean, there's some like leather and tobacco on the nose. The palate has a lot of like caramel that still has that like tobacco and leather, but it has like a lot of rye spice in there as well. But like caramelly, not as bad as I thought. And I'm sorry, Sean. I know you're really looking forward to getting my bottle here, but don't worry. I will send you champs.
I'll be happy with a sample, man. That'd be great. Yeah.
But Commandant Lou, I'm telling you cannot go wrong with the Still Austin cast strength or the straight. I mean, get the cast strength first, and you'll see what we're talking about. Then go ahead to the straight bourbon because it's 98, 99 proof. The cast strength's 118. Yeah. Profiles are extremely similar, other than the proof, but the proof gives it a kick. But you know what? That straight bourbon, you could drink that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, so Anthony said a thing earlier, and then there was, I guess, our alternate version of that, Proofstitute. I'm definitely in that category, so I prefer the high proof version, but they're both great. Anthony's right; great. They're both excellent.
They're both great. As a matter of fact, I picked this up a week ago.
Oh wow!
So I'm at half,
doing damage.
Yeah,
and
it's just me. It's just
I think
me.
A lot of whiskey drinkers are proofstitutes.
So
it's just
proofy bitch is easier to say.
Proof doesn't hurt. I think you can add water if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I think having something full-bodied. I drink a lot of beer today. We went to brewery hopping.
Hey, cheers, Jack. Appreciate it.
One thing that me and some of the other people who drink beer agreed upon is that something with full body is always better than something thin. And with whiskey, it always plays true that the cast strength has more body and more flavor than something that's a lower proof. And that's just the way it is.
Exactly.
It's not that you're chasing the proof. It's exactly what Holden was just saying. It's it's a more full experience. That's what you're after. It's not that I want to get drunk as fast as possible. It's just that it's just a better experience because it's thicker, it's richer, it's everything about it is just a better experience. And Commandante Lou, TX is not really available here. Like occasionally I will see it. But I will put that on the list. America? Is that? America.
I think TX. I think we have TX in Wisconsin, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe is TX the one that has a clear bottle? Is the TX is both in like silver writing? It's a pretty clean looking cylindrical bottle. I think we have
my recollection. Yes,
I like the new spelling of America though. That's my favorite part of that comment. America.
America. Give me some of that America whiskey.
That's it. America. Yeah, but yeah, I need to get some TX. The thing is, a lot of Texas bourbons are not really available here in Kentucky, which is disappointing because I love them. So,
I would imagine you have pretty good pick of Kentucky distilleries, though.
I mean, if you go to the distillery at the right time, like midweek, early morning, then yes. Otherwise, no. It's worse than most other states, honestly, because people come here to hunt whiskey. So, everything is a bourbon museum. Like every store you go to is marked up. Because Kentucky's not state controlled, so they can charge whatever they want.
Whatever.
That's what Wisconsin is too.
Yeah, and so because so many people come here, and the store owners know that eventually it will get sold, sometimes you'll see things for 3 or 4 times SRP. Yeah. Like that's pretty standard here. So, like it's nice to be near the distilleries. That's the only upside to living where I live. But like stores here are worse than most states. Because it's just like people, like everybody knows this is where you come to buy bourbon. So like stores know that they don't need to charge SRP because it will eventually sell. So yeah, so it's kind of like it's cool to see stuff. Like I see a lot of stuff. I see stuff all the time that people are like, I've never seen that. I see it.
Well,
it's just
it's $10,000 for a bottle.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just the prices are insane. So it's like it's cool to see them.
I was talking to Stacey H, and she lives in Ohio, and she says that there's Weller on the shelf just sitting there all the time.
Oh yeah,
for like $20. Like
Ohio.
That would be nice.
Yeah. TX is not a whiskey; it's the best country in America. Probably true. Well, so here's the thing, though, Lou. A lot of people don't know this. Texas always brags about all its freedoms, but we beat you all to constitutional carry. Yeah, we did. So just gonna throw that out there. You all talk about your freedoms, but we beat you to it.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Although, to be fair, in Texas, you can carry a sword legally. And as far as I know, we can't do that here in Kentucky. But, we're going to work on it, though. We're going to work on it.
I have no idea what gun laws are like in other states. But what I do know is I can strap an AR-15 to my back and walk into a McDonald's and nobody will bat an eye in Wisconsin.
Freaking freedom.
Freedom.
Same thing here. I mean, you might draw some attention, but it's legal to walk down the street here with it on.
So we're gonna have a freedom challenge here because I doubt y'all can beat me. So here we go. I can literally go to my flea market and buy guns without any background check whatsoever. I just hand the guy money, and this is how the process goes. I go to the flea market, I buy a gun. He's like, "How many shells do you need?" And that's the whole process.
Oh wow. No, I definitely had to go through a process. There's like a website you have to go through, and you have to type in your information, make sure you're not some kind of serial
killer. By the way, Anthony, if you could edit this part of the stream out later, that'd be great.
We're live, so you're screwed.
Just edit this small chunk out later. You can do it in post.
Yeah, no, I mean, Wisconsin is kind of one of those states where everyone just gets drunk and shoots guns and don't think anything of it. I mean, most of the space in Wisconsin is trees and deer, and like that's pretty typical for Wisconsin. So it's not like apart from Madison, Milwaukee, and Green Bay is smaller, but it's still a city. Other than that, there's a lot of woods and outdoors and a lot of hunters. I mean, if you even think that you're going to have a worker work for you during hunting season, then you're obviously stupid because nobody in Wisconsin is going to work during November, like the mid-November series. So.
Oh yeah. So for us, it's late October, and same thing here. Okay. Like we actually tell our customers there's like a 2-week block that like we don't work then. Sorry.
Yeah, it's hunting season.
Call us back in 2 weeks. We'll talk again. Actually, it's really longer for that than for me because it's there's bow in there as well. So there's actually days leading up to that also get missed. So yeah, it's just we're actually in it right now. So we're actually pre-seasoning right now. Yeah, we're already putting out stuff and getting the deer ready. Yeah, setting up lines and making sure all our stands are good, and checking your strings and pulling back the bows and making sure you can still pull back your 70-pound draw. And
you guys are shooting them 30-point bucks, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, actually, they're pretty small out this way. I mean, like if you get a 10 or 10 plus, then you're doing good here. They're
Honestly,
they're not huge.
Wisconsin's the same way. I mean, there's deer farms in Wisconsin. You can get yourself a 20-pointer in a deer farm, but like it's not hunting. That's harvesting.
Yeah,
at that point.
Exactly.
So. No, it's not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this off in about 5 minutes. That way it'll end it at 3 hours. That way Holden can get a shower and go to bed. And
you're right. I thought we should do that at some point.
I mean, it's only 9 o'clock for me, but it's midnight for
me,
Sean, and it's what 11 o'clock for you, Holden.
Yeah, 11 o'clock for me. Yep. I work at 5 in the morning, so
yeah, I'll be up at 5. So I know.
And tomorrow is not one of those days that I have off for deer season, so I should probably yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this was fun though. Honestly, like
this
Anthony,
really
thanks for having
great.
me. That was awesome.
This was a great stream. I know I got a lot of good feedback. I was watching. I was getting some texts too.
Okay.
Great stream. Yeah, great blind.
You did so good on the blind. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you did phenomenal.
But this is exactly what it's about, Holden. I mean, just good times, good whiskey, good people, good commentary. This is absolutely it. And when you have people that are in chat like we have in here, because we share the same, it's wonderful. Love it when James is here, Commandant Lou, Jack. Yeah. I really like it. John is in here. Top shelf, Independent Joe. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
Yeah, we had a great crowd tonight, as well as
this is a
us
good
on
crowd.
panel.
Lilith was here. She's going back and forth between Livewire and here, but I mean, honestly, these are good.
Hanging, those guys.
Yeah,
those guys are
hanging cracks me up. Oh,
it's a great shot. What's up, man?
Look, a great shot. Cheers.
There's one of our Texas buddies right there.
When we start talking Texas and whiskey, all of a sudden it's like saying Beetlejuice 3 times. Boom.
Mr. Great Shot.
He pops in. But it's been a great stream and everything there. Really appreciative of you, Holden. This was great flight. It surprised me, particularly in B, because I just couldn't figure it out. But I knew it wasn't a whiskey, but I wasn't sure. Turned out to be cognac, so I was on the right trail.
That was a goal.
Yeah, but I mean, really, honestly, great stream. And I'm going to raise a glass to both you guys and everybody in chat.
I don't have anything, so I guess that's bad luck. But cheers anyway.
I don't believe in that, but I don't
either. But yeah, there we go. I can do that.
Yep. Say cheers.
You gotta hold on to the bottoms. That way they can vibrate.
There we go. Okay. Okay, I got this. I'm gonna hold on to the.
Yep. And just say cheers, and we're gonna do this again.
Okay.
For sure, all 3 of us, because this was truly a great stream. So I will be seeing you guys and everybody in chat. Cheers.
Anthony, one last question before you sign off, and I think the people would be interested in this as well. Is what's your stream schedule going to be like going forward?
I'll be back to my 4 o'clock, I hope, 4:30 area next week. So I'll be back to my normal time pre-show for Livewire. But this had to happen.
Right.
Because of this. And then next weekend is going to be iffy, but I'm going to try to stream. But it's Whiskey Weekend here in Vegas, so a lot of people are going to be out here.
Right.
So I will be attending Whiskey Weekend. So it's going to be iffy next weekend, but we are going to try to do a couple of lives from wherever we are. We're still trying to work that out because there's just things going on between the different hotels on the strip and stuff. Different people are here. It's just going to be a zoo. And getting from point A to point B at the holiday is going to be a pain in the ass, but it's just going to be a heck of a weekend. So
It's Vegas, baby.
I can't guarantee it, but
Vegas.
I'm just going to tell everybody, just watch YouTube. When you all of a sudden see a thumbnail pop up that there's going to be a live from Whiskey Weekend here in Las Vegas, who knows who you might see? You might see Livewire. You might see Whiskey Central. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. But there are some people here bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Cool, man.
Bigger than what I thought it was going to be.
Enjoy yourself, Anthony. That sounds like honestly a blast.
It's going to be, like I said. So I'm taking some of these bottles, and for the bottle show on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, just that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So just want to say thank you again.
Yeah.
Cheers to everybody, and just stay tuned.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't wait till next weekend.
Yep. Cheers.
It was fun.